Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. Season 11, episode 11, 11-11, Make a Wish.
I thought about that the entire time I was watching it.
Did you? Did you make a wish?
Because it kept showing up in my top left-hand corner.
Oh, lovely.
And I was like, ooh, 11-11.
Well, honestly, my wish was to love an episode, and I really liked this episode.
I enjoyed it. Alicia texted me last night and was just like really happy about it, but I'd already watched some other stuff and seen some stuff, and I was like, I'm enraged. And then I realized I rewatched it again today, like the day that we're recording this, and I was like, okay, yeah, I did enjoy this episode.
Okay, so Meredith and I have agreed we're going to go through the episode. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the episode like we loved the episode.
On its own.
And then we will get to the end and talk about all the other things that came out in the 2 days from when this aired to when we are now recording.
Yeah.
So don't think that we aren't doing our homework. We're just going to enjoy the episode for what it is.
The juiciness is at the end.
Okay, so before we get into the episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network because we have other podcasts. We have this one. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, which also covers Winter House and Martha's Vineyard. And we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Vanderpasta. Meredith is a TikTok star, you guys.
Thank you. I'm having fun with it. I'm in my fun TikTok era.
She's a TikToker now. And then also join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever the hell we want. Today we started with my feet.
Yes, and ended with
gossiping in
how there should be some clips on teen dramas where you get the background characters' view.
It's just too weird. People are disappearing due to vampire bites. How is no one talking about this?
There's a reason we got there, so you should just go listen to the pre-show.
Also, you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and we watch old seasons, which we do, we'll cover all the seasons we have missed. Don't worry. But we'll do a Bravo after show so we can talk about Bravo news and not give away spoilers on the podcast. But since this is live, we will talk about whatever Bravo news we want on this podcast. Mm-hmm. And then also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you so much to Allie, Chris, Darby, D, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Jennifer, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Kirby, Chrissy, Lady Swamp Witch, Lauren, Lindsay, Robin, Sammy, Sarah L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Leanne, Lisa, Taylor, and Tara.
Woohoo!
Ooh, wow. Thank you so much for joining us. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we have live seasons, which is now, I will post in the Patreon and ask for your thoughts, questions, opinions, concerns, whatever you want to say. And we will read them on the podcast. Also, I'll pick a patron of the episode, which obviously I am on top of my game, so I didn't pick one.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's 11-11, so I just don't know what to do with myself with this episode, but fear not, because I'm checking I keep a list. Even when I'm not prepared, I'm still
she's
organized.
Behind the scenes prepared.
I'm still organized. So
she doesn't know how to
I am
on microphone on my be prepared, but she is behind the scenes.
I'm only freaking out a little.
That's good. Actually, I kind of added something weirdly to our $5 Patreon because it's a new feature on Patreon.
What is it?
There's like a group chat feature, so I opened it up and started one with the $5 patrons to test it out.
A group chat?
Yeah, we realized notifications are kind of meh on it, but there is a group chat for the $5 patrons in us, so people can kind of easily chat with each other and come and go as they please, rather than hunting down posts. So that exists. I think we'll explore it over the next few weeks, but that's
amazing.
Been added for our $5ers.
Oh my God,
our
amazing.
Lisa status.
We also had a really cool meetup this past weekend.
Oh my God. We're going to do it more frequently. We're going to figure out
for our $5
season. Yeah. Some changes. And
okay. So, everyone who commented and gave me anything to work with has obviously already been called. So I'm going to pick Sammy for this episode. It looks like Sammy's kind of new, so welcome to the club.
Welcome. Welcome to Illyria. Welcome,
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 welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome
welcome to
to
Illyria.
Illyria. You know what? I always say, have a great apple and sandwich, and people never know what that's from.
I wouldn't pick that up if you just said it to me off the
Like when
cuff.
people are like, have a great day, I go, have a great apple and sandwich. Like when someone says it too cheery, and I'm just like,
Yes.
whatever. Okay, sorry. Side note, choose the man. Okay, yay. Thank you. Welcome, Sammy. Okay, I think that's it. I think I did everything that I need to do. Can we hop right into the episode? I'm excited.
There's so much going on, so yes, let's get it rolling.
Okay, so previously on also Meredith and I are drinking. Just if we get unhinged.
Oh yeah, it's one of those episodes. Here.
Previously on Vanderpump Rules, Schwartz made it clear that he's not dating Joe. Brock told Schwartz that Katie fucked Max. Sandoval locked the dog Maya in a room and she almost died. Everyone keeps wanting Ariana to forgive Sandoval, and she's very pissed on the beach. So then we open up. There's no intro. There's no intro this time.
This is how you don't need a like. I think we did get a to be. Did we get a to be continued last episode?
Yeah, yes. I think.
Okay, we didn't need one. But if you are going to be continued, there should be no opening. Like we should just jump right in.
You know that it's our time. I know, but I missed it because I like watching the intro.
I agree, but it should be there should be one, maybe two a season, and that's what you should do.
Just fine. Anyway, so it's beach. We're still at beach day. Ariana's pissed that everyone is sticking up for Tom Sandoval. And Brock is like, you guys go tit for tat. And Ariana's like, yeah, I fucking can do that.
Like, you act like this is just like two bickering siblings.
Like immediately, just everyone fuck off. This part angered me. I was mad starting out the episode.
I was enraged at the beginning and the end of the episode.
Okay, great. So Ariana says she can feel a certain way towards Sandoval because she didn't do anything to him. He did everything to her.
Yeah.
She knows he's trying to make her look like the villain. Which, wow, also the way this is edited. Wow, why would she think that? Crazy.
We will talk about the fourth wall at the end of the episode. I have a lot of thoughts. I think I've pieced this problem together.
Stop teasing it. We'll get there. We're going off the episode.
I'm just saying. I want to go on my tangent now, but I can't.
No. Schwartz has removed himself, and he's now talking to Sandoval, or he's taking Sandoval to the bar.
When he walks up, he wanted like a thank you. Like he's standing there waiting for a thank you.
Hey guys, I'm going to
take him. And it's like, okay, do it.
Katie literally gives him the dirtiest look through her sunglasses.
She at first was smiling that like, this is so absurd smile, and then stops because I think he thinks she's smiling at him, and it's like, no.
Yeah, she's straight up, I don't care what you do.
Go, peasant.
Ariana doesn't want to say shit to, honestly, either Tom, but mostly to Tom Sandoval. Mm-hmm. And Lala's like, Tom Sandoval has no way of winning Ariana. And Ariana's like, no, stop.
No, because Lala says, what can he say to win? Like, he can't say anything. He can't win. And she goes, he can say nothing. That's it. He just needs to be silent. But he physically cannot do that.
He needs to be silent, but he feels like he's been silenced. You know it's true.
Okay. Yes, I do, because he's a victim in his own mind.
We go to the bar with the Toms, the same bar I think that James got 151 in his eye. If you guys remember.
This is different. I know exactly where the bar they're at is, and I've wanted to go to this bar, but it's packed on weekends, and it's also like a younger crowd, and so my cousin never wants to take me. I just want to see it.
This isn't the 151 bar?
No, that one was way smaller. In like closer, tight knit. Yeah,
that was sad. Anyway, Sandoval gets a non-alcoholic marg. You got a smoothie.
Okay, it's driving me nuts how they like show us that sober. Every time. They are really pushing that he is like this changed person. Like he's not drinking. They constantly are reminding us he's not drinking.
So Sandoval talks about how he loves Maya the dog, and he doesn't understand why Maya is just Ariana's just because she paid for the dog. But that's kind of what happens when you break up, bro. You got to divide the assets.
I understand that not everybody thinks of things about like a legal aspect. I was raised that way because my dad's a lawyer, but there's like legal precedent on whoever pays for the dog's things gets the dog. Just like there's precedent on whoever pays for a down payment on a home and is actually registered on the home gets the home. Like there's ways that things happen in life.
That's why they tell you put both names on the lease.
Yes. I feel like I'm in La La Land. Like there's a world where this has never happened before, and like this has never occurred. So why would like things happen a certain way?
Listen, this part didn't make me mad. The part that made me mad was the next part when he says that he buys stuff for the house. And at first I was like, crazy because Ariana just went through all the inventory of the house.
I know.
But
I was
no,
like, oh, I wonder what he has receipts for, and like truly is his. That's fine. Like you can own stuff too.
Tom Sandoval buys toilet paper, trash bags, pens, batteries, electrical work, repairs. And he's very upset that Ariana has never bought her fair share of batteries. And then the producer in the interview is like, why would you bring this up again when you know you got roasted last year for talking about how Ariana doesn't buy batteries? And he's like, I just think Ariana is going to be in for a rude awakening. And I
Okay,
literally am so angry about it
two
still.
parts to this. One, the way he inventories basically that household in his mind tells me he's not doing that much stuff because I
Oh my
commented this
God.
on a TikTok related to like Lala's behavior cataloging, like who has stuck up for her. The people in this world who are keeping track of everything tend to do the least. Have you ever noticed that? Like when
Yeah.
your friends like want to Venmo you for that like $2.50 for the like group tip we put down on something or like the Uber. If you can't just like live a life where you know you're just through different transactions gonna make it even, if you truly have to catalog everything you are doing, it's because you don't want to actually make it
I know.
even. Like you want to hold things over people's heads. Like stop being so stingy.
Also, listen, I made a TikTok about it, but I'm going to talk about it here too.
Yes. This is the second
You
part.
you buy pens and batteries in bulk. You buy that shit once
Yes.
every 3 to 4
If you're
months.
not buying it in bulk, we got bigger problems.
If you're buying an individual pen for your household, that's wild. So, A, right there, you're really not doing that much.
A
B,
one-time thing, max per year.
how often do you like need a pen in your own household? How often does that honestly happen to you? That
Alicia, I had a pen from when I started at my company in 2019 that just ran out, and I'm devastated. I loved this pen. But guess what? Somehow I had three other pens on my desk, and I don't know where they came from.
you collect pens. You can find a pen.
Unless you're a kindergartner going to school or like kindergarten through like senior year of high school, in what world are you going shopping for pens?
My yes, and my other issue with this is Ariana's a full-grown woman. She knows how many batteries and pens she needs in her life. The fact that you're like she's going to be in for a really rude awakening.
It's that's not like
What?
food where like if you don't have batteries, working batteries in your remote, like you're gonna be able to live.
It is 2024. Instacart. You have
I love that
cars.
response that you put on TikTok because you're so right. If you have an assistant, like, are we sure Anne isn't doing these errands for you? You don't even clean up in your own
She
home.
is.
I
She's the
don't
one that
believe
orders.
that you're going and buying these batteries yourself.
Okay, but best case scenario, this man buys all the batteries in the world by himself, and now he's concerned that Ariana's not going to have batteries. She could easily get in her car, drive 10 minutes away. It's LA. There you could buy batteries probably anywhere. Go in, buy the batteries, and come
Yeah.
home.
You
It
don't need them backstocked.
it's not your electricity. It's not like you're running out of wood
This isn't like an
to
everyday
light your fire.
necessity. Like, you can
Like
go buy it when you know you need one.
it's not the 1700s and we're not in winter, okay? We don't need to pack up meat for the winter. We're not in hibernation. Who fucking this man is so I was so mad he brought this up again.
I wish they would have asked him how much of these supplies and how often he is buying them
When was the
because
last time you bought batteries?
Alicia,
When? I don't know the last time I bought batteries.
I I have been thinking about this
All day.
since the episode. It has been 48
When?
hours when we're recording this. 48 hours since the live episode aired. I I have moved 3 times And I have not bought batteries.
I think I bought batteries when I first moved to New York.
My first apartment in Chicago, I think I bought batteries, and I have hauled those to St. Louis and back
Because you
to
buy in
Chicago.
bulk. You're not just buying two. Okay, they do have the ones where it's like you can buy 4 batteries.
Yes.
No one buys those batteries unless you don't know if you have batteries at home.
But even if you do, then those are for the people who, the minute they need a battery, they buy it to replace. And
Or,
that is also a standard of life.
or you like live with someone, like if we're roommates and I'd be like, oh, I don't know if like we have batteries, I'll buy a small pouch
Let's
just
just
so we
grab a
have
few.
some.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm living alone, I have batteries. I'm so mad. And the pen.
But here's the thing, even if you don't, the minute you find
I
out you
can
need it,
get
you would go buy
batteries.
it. Like, she will
Because
be
my
okay.
house doesn't run on battery operated utilities. Like, I'm so angry.
I'm not off the grid.
Like, do you think this man? I can't. Okay, can we move on? I'm so upset.
I could lament for 30
I could
minutes
talk about the
this
pens
topic.
for another 45 minutes because what are you writing? Okay, well, he's writing in his journal. We do know. So props, I guess. Anyway, so we go back to the beach. We find out, the nanny Tori is going to come to the bar.
Here we go.
Sheena says that Schwartz is obsessed with Tori. And then we find out the whole story that, like, first of all, Sheena has no business setting Schwartz up with anyone, but she's going to try for Tori.
I was like, I thought we learned from this. Maybe you should just stay out of setting up Schwartz.
Nah. But whatever. Katie's not mad about this one, so fine. So Sheena... Also, I guess Tori has expressed interest in Schwartz. So she's like, great, you guys should date. So she introduced them. Tori thinks Schwartz is very hot. Okay. But then Katie was like, hey, Tori should date me instead. Which Sheena also, I think, is like, I don't care who she dates, but like one of you, I guess. But all's fair in love and war. So Sheena's going to watch for once.
I am excited about this.
So we get
this
to
is
bar.
Like a friendly competition.
I know, it's so fun. Back at the bar, Schwartz gets a call from Katie. So funny. She's like, hey, you left all your stuff on the beach. And he's like, thank you so much for letting me know. And she's like, no, I'm not.
First, he's just like, telling you.
He's like, thank you for letting me know. I did such a good deed removing Sandoval from the situation. Thanks for grabbing my stuff. And Katie's like, I'm not. I just wanted to let you know it's here. And
they leave his stuff. When you left with Sandoval, you could have brought your stuff.
Yeah, no one was asking you to like immediately
It wasn't Sandoval or the stuff. Like you didn't have to pick one. You could have just grabbed it.
He could have nicely said, do you mind grabbing it?
The way that man still thinks he's married to Katie and like the managing his life.
So the rest of the gang gets to the bar. The Toms they find a table of girls girlies, stop giving these men attention. Anyway, so Tom Sandoval buys them a round of shots. And then we see Tori gets to the bar and she kind of immediately finds Schwartz and goes sit by him. Tori seems like a very strong, opinionated woman. I'm surprised, Tori, did I say that? Tori seems like a very strong, opinionated woman. I don't know why Schwartz would like her because he hates women. Especially women with opinions.
I know. I don't see the spark. But I am here for the overall just storyline of this venture, but I don't see this at all.
She honestly reminds me a lot of Katie. And
I agree.
Oh, no.
I agree.
Oh, no.
I agree.
Yeah. So Schwartz buys Tori a bottle of what he says is champagne, but it's really brute, so cheap. But whatever. So then Tori, because she's a strong, independent woman, is like, are you going to ask me out on a date? And Schwartz is like, oh my God, do you want to go on a date with me? And she's like, yeah. But he's all shook that a woman would actually take charge. And then Katie, my little shitster Katie,
I love when she's like, I'll be right back.
The confidence of this woman. She goes to the bar. She finds Tori and Schwartz chilling. She immediately shits on Schwartz. She's like, you didn't even buy her real champagne. You're such a little dick. Tom Sandoval's hanging out with this group of girls. They're also trying to talk to Schwartz.
Katie goes, like, oh, they want your attention. Go over there.
Over there.
the way this like Katie is so suave. The way she swooped on that little like because Schwartz was like, "Oh, we're on a date," like, which I was like, "That's so funny." He's like, "Dang it, no, she's here now." Removed Schwartz, and Schwartz was like, "You didn't buy her a drink," and it's like, "No, you did, but you can leave now. Like, thanks for
Yeah.
buying the drink.
It
Like, I'm
was
gonna spend time
hot.
with her now."
Katie's hot. and then and then he listens because he's such a little bitch. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to these other girls. So he lets Katie have
He lets
his
Katie win.
girl.
This
Yeah,
is
it was
how
awesome.
this Schwartz like this is like not attractive to me. Like I want a
No.
guy who like wants to take charge. I mean, who knows I'm the boss at the end of the day, but what's the
Yeah.
cosplay at being in charge?
This was so wild. Also, I will have everyone know my sexual attraction to Katie, other straight women are also feeling it.
I
So
am feeling it. Like I'm
we're in a
not
group.
into girls, and I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's one of those things I think a lot of us are realizing,
It's
like
the confidence.
energy and like
Yeah, the
it's just
energy. There's something about Katie,
there's something about her.
There's something about her. So, we go back to like the group. Logan and James are playing bags, which is very funny because never forget Logan and James arguing about if James hooked up with him or
I'm
not.
mad because I need more Logan. Like Vanderpump sucks at bringing in new cast members, but like we have all these side cast members we are interested in. Like keep them around. We can chit chat to Logan for a little bit.
Logan's great. So Ariana and Lala talk. Lala tells Ariana she can't control Tom, she can only control herself. Oh, also Sheena's here. She comes in at some point. Sorry, I forgot. Anyway, so Ariana understands that her anger isn't healthy. And Sheena's like, I just want you and Tom to have a calm conversation. And
I
Ariana's like, we can't because he still hasn't told me that he fucked up with the Raquel
yeah.
situation. And Lala's like, Ariana, are you mad that Sandoval threw like you away basically? And Ariana's like, duh, yeah.
I like were you not Lala, were you not at the reunion where you were actually screaming at him? Like
Is it just clicking for Lala? She's like, oh, Ariana might not want to talk to Tom Sandoval because she's actually really hurt.
when I watched this episode for the second time today, the day we're
Was this the
recording,
stupidest conversation?
oh, so much clicked in my mind, Alicia, because I feel like they're half talking in code. Because it just doesn't always click. I don't understand where Lala is at when she's talking sometimes. What do you mean? Oh, are you sad he threw 10 years away?
What if I was like, no, I'm just sad that he like could have given me an STD. Like what else would she be sad
Sometimes
about?
the way that Sheena and Lala are talking is as if Sandoval actually did like break up with Ariana and then just move on to Raquel. Like
Like
and
I
we just
don't get it.
nobody like we're living in this alternate universe where it's just like, oh, they broke up and she's sad because they broke up, but she needs to move on.
Yeah, that's not what happened. Like,
Let's
am I crazy?
no, I'm like, did somehow our like cameras go into this alternate universe and record this alternate universe?
Yeah.
No. We're in 2024 on planet Earth in this universe, even if there's sub alternate universes. I know I'm in this one. My conscience is in this one.
It's wild that like people seem to forget everything that happened. Anyway, even though we all monetized everything that happened.
Yeah, you didn't forget about those checks being
Just like,
cashed into
yeah.
your bank account.
So Ariana says Sandoval also just knew everything about her because they were dating and living together for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't care. He doesn't care that he threw it all away. He doesn't care he fucked up. And like Ariana's getting really emotional and Lala's getting a little emotional. I'm like, oh my God, is she finally fucking getting it?
Yeah.
And then Sheena says she wants what's best for Ariana and she wants Ariana out of that house, which I understand. That's probably what's healthiest. And Ariana's like, I know you're right, but it sucks too because like how Tom Sandoval is saying like he loves this house. He put in so much time and work. This is his dream house. It's also Ariana's dream house. And she put time and effort and money into that house. And now why is she expected to leave? And like he's acting like he deserves to stay there when he wrecked it.
I think Ariana like really looked at their relationship as like a lifelong partnership, and I do think that they were in a bad spot, but I think she viewed it similar to like she didn't really want marriage, but like similar to a marriage where like you're going to go through some rough moments, but that doesn't mean we like give up or quit.
No.
Like, this is our life that we built together. Like, I'm not just going to throw this away. Like, they bought that house when they were happy, and even if they weren't happy, like, they found and bought it together. There's something in it. Like, it's not just he owned the house and she moved in.
They built this whole life together. He's the one who wrecked it
Shattered
and
it.
threw
Yeah.
her away, and he expects to keep the house, and everyone's telling her to be the one to move out.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
There is more going on in Summer House where it's like more of an equal breakup understanding. And like Carl is being more respectful to Lindsay than Sandoval is to Ariana. And
Yeah.
when like that breakup, Ariana and Sandoval is like 95.5% blame. Like I will give, like, every person is to blame for like relationships like souring, you know? So like
Mhm.
that's where my 5% is coming for Ariana, just from that perspective. But like, how do you not think like, hey, I just destroyed someone, like I should give them
Yeah, how do you
space?
not have the respect for your ex-partner who you claimed you loved for 10 years? Maybe
Yeah, like
more because you were
Carl is
cheating.
doing that on Summer House, like in present day.
Yes.
And like Lindsay has, in what we've seen thus far, has been horrible to him during the summer.
Yeah, like
And he's like, hey, I ended this. I'm gonna give you your space.
that's what makes me think like Sandoval's not just like a like a he's just a horrible person. He's
Yeah.
not just a bad reality TV villain. He's not just like a bad boyfriend or a bad ex. He's actually like a terrible person with no respect.
This is him through and through. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ariana crying totally breaks my heart. But she shares, she's like, my armor is up. This was very traumatic. Like, I'm not trying to make it other people's problems, but he's openly out here talking shit about me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
This
And
is the first time Ariana has really spoken about Sandoval to them like this. Like, she does not bring up the cheating, the breakup that I've seen on camera thus far, like this season, and we're 11 episodes in. But Lala and Sheena have a lot to say about Ariana's relationship, and they never say it to her face. And so I was like, oh, maybe it's just like they think Ariana's moved on. So this is the first time that Ariana, from what we've really seen, has broken down, said, I'm still really upset about this. This is what's going on. And so from here on out, I thought, okay, things are going to be different because now they see the full picture. Like, they understand where Ariana is. And I'm
yeah,
just disappointed to see in present day and the rest of this episode, like, that's not what it is. I just really thought when I first saw this scene, it would
it
be
was going to
different.
change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, they tell Ariana, they validate that she's done everything as perfectly as she could have, and like it's a terrible situation, and they're sorry she's in
Well,
this.
clearly she hasn't done everything perfect because they've had a lot to say about her behind her
Like they were
back
so
at the
annoying.
beginning of this season.
Tori and Katie talk, and Tori asks Katie if she's ever dated a girl, and Katie says no, but she has had sex with a girl. And I was like, why
Ooh.
not me? But you wouldn't. I'm in it.
Why not
So you
me?
wouldn't know though, because she's been with Tom Schwartz for like 12, for as long as
Yeah,
we've known her. So we've never seen like Katie date anyone else,
I
basically.
know.
Besides Satchel, never forget, R.I.P.
Rip
But
Satchel.
um Katie says to Tori she doesn't really put a label on herself. She just likes people. Um, and yeah, she's always had an attraction to women. And Tori says that Katie makes her nervous because Katie's so pretty and she wants to kiss.
I
Katie makes me nervous
okay.
too.
Tori like vocalizing all this stuff. I was like, this is what I like. This is how I
Women
like
can
feel.
communicate.
It just everything Tori was like, you're so pretty. I was like, Katie is fucking gorgeous, and like she just has this energy that like you're just like, hi.
I also think it's just easier, right? If I said, like, yeah, if I'm hitting on a girl and I said, like, you're just so pretty, like, that's normal. But if I went up to a guy and was like, you're just so handsome, he would be like, what the fuck? You know, it's just different.
You
The
know
way,
how to talk like
because it's how we communicate,
I was
like
about to
a
say
woman and
your
woman
own.
communicating.
Yes, like I get. I'm a straight like female. I understand other females, like people who identify as females, like because
Yeah.
that's just where my brain is at. So I feel
Yeah.
like you know yourself, so you know people who are similar to you. Like you just get it, and everybody is different, so there are differences even in just like female
Yeah.
to female. But like you can just hit the ground running a little bit more compared to like a straight man and a straight woman. Like I just don't get you.
Yeah. It seems more comfortable. It seems more comfortable for Tori to just say that. So whatever. So Katie's like, oh my God, if you want to kiss me, just do it. And Tori's like, really?
I'm like
And
getting the
then
butterflies over this scene.
they kiss. Tori is literally so lucky.
Hands on face. I'm not like somebody who likes long nails, just on myself personally, or just it's not, I'm not into the trend. But Tori with her little pink nails on Katie's face, I was like, get after it.
Also, I don't like to watch people make out
No,
normally. I was literally like, I wish they would add tongue. Like, what are we doing?
I
Like,
was
just fucking do
giddy.
it.
It felt like a rom com. Like,
Start the sex tape. Let's go. I'm into the bathroom. Let's do it. Like, I was literally sitting here like, why aren't they kissing with tongue? Like, ew. But I was like, do it.
well, because they like kissed and then they kind of like broke apart and then they did again. And I was like, and then everybody noticed and people were like, yeah, girls. I was
Oh my
like,
God. If I was there, I would have sat and just been like full attention on them, probably on the table with my hand, my like
that's the
face in
thing.
my
I kind of
hand.
hate when people cheer when kissing happens because then it usually stops it. I'm like, oh my God. Like whispering to a friend, like, look
But
what's going
I would
on.
cheer for. I'd be like, that was so hot, and I'm like here for it, and I loved every second of it. And if it doesn't happen again, I will literally die. So it better.
If this is the only time we get this dynamic, I'm going to be very disappointed this season because I really like this like competition thing, but also more so like Tori and Katie.
They're hot together. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then we go to this place called Tale of the Pup with Joe. And Joe actually orders a hot dog, and I don't cringe when she does it. So Joe can be not so cringy. Anyway,
I think Joe was very tolerable this
yeah,
episode compared to others.
agreed. I could tolerate her.
Yes.
Anyway, I expected Schwartz to show up, but it's Lala. And I went, what?
Alicia, I immediately texted my cousin and said, who's in reality TV, and said, if somebody is set up like for production too, because you just get like a call sheet usually.
Yeah,
A lot of times I think production like asks you about your week, what's going on, and they try to naturally set these scenes up. But this one obviously seems like production set this up. I asked, could you decline this stuff? And he said, rarely would you because production would be upset with you and like would turn on you. So
fair.
I think production set this up obviously. But I also
Schwartz
think,
production.
yeah, I also think Lala wants this stuff going on. And this scene is what made me click like, what is going on in behind the scenes and what is not being said. Because, like, this scene was just so unnatural.
So weird. So, yeah, basically, like they sit down to eat hot dogs. Lala saw Joe not okay at the Hotel Ziggy. And Joe says she really wants to be in the group because she wants to be a part of Schwartz's life
Okay.
forever. And
I was like,
she
whoa.
needs Lala as the ticket for that. And I literally went, oh my God, girlie, no.
Separately, not
No.
about production, but also weirdly behind the scenes, I think Joe and Schwartz were having relations behind the scenes, which we already know. But I think either, I don't know if it was said or not, but Joe thought if I come on this show, then we're not in the dark. Like we can be a couple. And that's, I think, the motivation for her being on this show.
Oh, I want to spill what I have to say
Oh
because
my God, I can't wait to
I've
hear it
learned
later.
about
Is this with the
this.
Rachel podcast, which we'll
Yeah.
get to later? Okay.
Yeah.
That's just what I was thinking. I was like, wow, you just said you wanted to be with him forever. Like
That's the thing.
this is what made me start like feeling for her.
Here, a part of me really felt for Joe, being like, she
Yeah.
loves this person. And I have also had to ask the question, is someone embarrassed of me? And that's not a good feeling.
No, I really felt for Joe this episode.
So yeah, I get it.
There's things where she went wrong, but I'm like, I've been her.
Yeah, it hurts. But girl, I just want to like, I need her to have a good girlfriend to be like, fucking leave him.
That's it. It's weird because she's like wanting this cast to like be the
Her
friend group, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not natural. Like you just got thrown onto this, and it just from a show perspective, this isn't working for me. But from like this is also real life mixed in with a show, and like I feel for her, but then I'm also like, this is just weird.
Joe in the group, I don't like.
No.
Joe and Schwartz, that's when I feel for her.
I see her and I feel her. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Lala asked Joe if she knew about Tom and Raquel. And Joe says no. And Lala's like,
Such
how'd
a
you not
lie.
know? And I also was like, how do you not know? And then Joe says she wasn't looking at them. She was looking at Schwartz. And she thought,
No.
first of all, and she thought Ariana and Sandoval had broken up. Two things. One, Schwartz is not that good looking where you don't see the other people you're hanging out with. And two, didn't you go to a Thanksgiving at their house? You knew they
I
weren't broken up.
Alicia, I was like, make it make sense because I understand if you were like, oh, I didn't notice all the little things, like similar
Yeah.
to how Sheena and like
I thought they were just
um
friends, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like other people were like, oh, we were kind of blinded by just their already existing like Raquel and Sandoval's friendship. That would make sense to me if you were like, oh, I didn't notice it at the beginning. Like I just thought the four of us were really good friends and we were hanging out more. But by Big Bear, like I really understood what was happening. Like and I didn't know how to break the news.
That's where it's hard. Like you literally were driving down with Raquel to go hang out
Yeah.
with two guys.
Like you're traveling. It's not just you guys going out for a night out and like
What are you
a
guys talking
random
about?
group got together.
For who knows how long. Raquel doesn't mention like I'm gonna go. And also, listen, Schwartz, you can't tell me he lasts more than 3 minutes. When you saw Sandoval and Raquel weren't around and they were together in a room, what did you think?
That's it, is like
You
again,
can't be
there's
that dumb.
pieces.
Sorry.
It was 7 months, so there's pieces of it like you get to say your answer. You can say, hey, from the jump I didn't know this was a thing, but I slowly started to figure out, and I just, or you know what, like I didn't want to really say anything or like think about it, or like I didn't really care to like give this a thought.
Just own up that you knew it was happening
That
though.
you were present for it.
And also Joe's like, it would be kind of crazy if I just asked Sandoval, like, how's Ariana? No,
That's
it
not
wouldn't. That's
that's not
literally his partner of 10 years. Why would that be crazy?
that's not weird. Like Alicia, if you never asked me if you were dating someone, because like let's be honest, Joe is the like plus one, so she doesn't need to have the like same respect of like her and Sandoval are best friends. But if you and I went to dinner and you brought a guy and he was and we had been seeing each other for a while, like the four of or the three of us had been friends for a while, and he never asked me about my 10-year partner, that would be weird.
Be weird. It'd be weird, right? It'd be
Especially
weird.
if my partner never came out.
It would be weird.
How would it not be a discussion point?
It would be really weird. Yeah, like so I don't know. I feel for her on some stuff, but I still don't trust her. I still don't think she's a girl's girl, and I don't think the group should accept her.
I feel for her on her soul thing, but I think in the friend group aspect, I think she doesn't make sense on this show, and she is not a good girl to this group, so it makes sense why they don't
They
like
have a
her.
right to hate her. So anyway, so Lala says Joe and Schwartz are so weird. And Joe's like, we got really close, me and T Money.
Oh my god.
And Lala's like, what? And she's like, T Money and Joseph. And I was like, oh God.
I
Imagine that rapper duo.
I also saw myself not to the extreme that Joe is, but when you just try to be that cool, like joking, like, oh my god,
Pick
no,
me
we're not
girl.
together, but you're
Oh,
you're, you're an undercover pick me girl, where you're like, oh no, 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 because Joe kept being like,
we're cool. We're just friends.
Lala was like, oh, you should put T Money and Joseph on your weddings, and she was like, no, oh my god, we getting
Ew,
married, but in
Lala.
her mind, like I've been that girl where you're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, never, but you're like, God, I like deep in my soul, I
It's
want
actually
him to
such a
pick
good
me.
idea.
You're like, okay.
So
You tell
then
him. You tell him that he should pick me.
I loved. So I texted you or I sent a voice memo or something at this point. The
Hmm.
next scene I freaked out about. We go to Top Golf with the wolf pack.
Alicia screamed, "Oh my god, the wolf pack's finally
Oh my god, the wolf pack.
together!"
If you
This
don't
makes sense. Where you were like, "I like this episode."
I like this episode.
I was like, "What fucking episode did you watch?" I forgot about this.
I don't care how long we get with the wolf pack. The wolf pack made of James, Katie, Allie, and Ariana.
Yep.
That's our wolf pack. Those are our besties.
The juxtaposition of Lala and Joe, who don't make sense, and these four who are just smiles and naturally get along,
This is the golden group.
like this makes sense. These
I
people
never
like each
question
other.
this. I can't question
No,
this friendship. It's amazing.
no.
So, we're playing golf. James whiffs the ball, but he looks cute in his little glasses and his polo shirt, so it's good. Katie shares that she made out with Tori because everyone's like, we saw you make out with Tori at the bar. And she was like, yeah. And like tonight she's going on a date with Schwartz. And everyone's like, ooh. Well, James specifically is
Oh my
like, wait, how did you get to this point? Like, are you just dating Tori to like piss off Schwartz? And Katie's like, no, I don't give a fuck about Schwartz, James. And James is like, no, I get it.
God.
But also, like, you fucked Max. So, like, props to you.
I
And
love
then
this.
James in his interview was like, it's weird, okay? Katie and Schwartz were married, like suits and dresses married, and now they're not because they were divorced and they're dating the same girl that looks 21 but is actually 24. It's weird. And I was like, it is weird, but I
Okay,
like it.
this scene also reminded me that this is how you are friends with someone and acknowledge something's weird or kind of give like somewhat criticism on something without putting someone down.
Yeah,
Like
James is just like, it's weird.
James is just acknowledging what is without being like, I can't believe like
Without attacking
Katie,
her.
yeah, would do this. She's like so obsessed with just like getting back at Schwartz. Like, you don't need to say any comments like that. But that is like the energy we get from Sheena and Lala this
He
season.
kind of blames both of them. He's like, they're dating, they're divorced and dating the same people. It's weird. That's not
Yeah.
normal.
And I don't think Katie would be mad that somebody said, like, hey, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, no.
I know
It'd be
weird
weird
is a
if he's
hot
like,
button topic.
Katie's
On
really shitting on Schwartz's game.
But like, let's identify this is weird because the audience sees it too, but like, we love it. It's not a bad thing.
So Katie asks Ariana what happened with Lala and Sheena. Ariana tells Katie they don't want her to be triggered by Sandoval. And Katie's like, I don't get why they don't understand why you're triggered. And
Me
Ariana's
too.
like, oh yeah, because James is like, no, totally get it. Because James is also just listening in. He's like, totally get it. But like, we're in this group chat where we're going paintballing. And Ariana's like,
I
oh good, there's just like a group chat that I'm not in now. And James is like, uh and Allie is also just like, yes, sorry, but like I'm not actually gonna paintball, if that helps.
Which Ariana gives him permission to go paintballing. She's like, do it. Like, I don't think Ariana truly has a problem with people doing these scenes. Like, hey, we're all going to go paintballing. We're all
But
going to
just
sit at the beach.
leave her out of it and don't expect her to like do it. You know
Don't
what I
expect her to
mean?
come. Don't shit talk her or talk about her to him. I feel like this
Yeah.
isn't like a crazy ask.
It's actually not.
If James can like walk this fine line and
Literally
really not
anyone
have any
can.
problems, yeah, like
Literally,
it feels like it's not that hard to me.
literally anyone can.
But there's
Like
also nothing worse than finding out there's a group text without you in it.
Kate, I don't think Katie's in it, so like
I
either.
have this
So
with my friend group. Like, I didn't live here for a few years, and I found out that they still use this group text that I'm not in, and I don't get planned on things. And you know what I said? You're not my true friend if you're like, I have one friend in there will like make sure I get sent stuff from his perspective. If he's like, oops, sorry, I sent this in the wrong one, he will text me and say that to me. Like, hey, sorry, I put this in like the wrong group text that you're not in. I wanted to make sure that you knew about this. And I'm like, I appreciate that because shit happens where like you just go to the most recent texts.
yes, but that is definitely a different situation. Like Ariana's not invited. She's not. She
Yes,
doesn't
but
need
like
to know.
knowing people are explicitly using a group text to keep you out of it is hurtful. But that's what I'm saying. My other friends don't do that stuff. They like are sending stuff and never say anything to me about it.
Yes, I again think it's a different situation. Just because like those are your friends. This is a breakup, so there you have to assume there are different group chats. I think what she's uncomfortable with is she knows that her ex is talking shit, so she doesn't know what's happening in these group chats. Like she doesn't know, and her friends
See, I think being
openly.
the only one out of something
But like you have
is
to
the problem
expect
for
that
me.
when it's a breakup. Like it's not
Not like
realistic.
this breakup. That would I would be very unhappy with my friends if there is
Yes, but
a
also it's
group chat with
coworkers.
everybody
What would you do
in
if
it.
your ex was coworkers with a friend and they went out
If
to
I was
drink?
in Ariana's situation, this would lead me to not coming back to the show. Like, and I this would be like friendship ending with some of these people, like the way they are treating her.
Yes. So again, what I was saying was more like I think she's more concerned because her friends are openly showing that they don't have her
Yeah.
back. So this group chat can go from, hey, we need to film together and Sandoval's putting something together and we're all going to be invited to this thing, to Ariana is such a
Is
bitch,
not
whatever. Like there's a
stocking the
fine
batteries.
line.
Yeah.
So I think Ariana's not mad that there's a separate group chat. I think she's concerned about the people in this group chat not having her back.
Yeah. Like when she's even there, they're not protecting her. So it's like, you're obviously not doing
Yeah,
this behind my back.
like I'm sure she understands the difference between like an actual friend group chat and then like the work friend group chat,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I think this is. But she's like not, I don't think mad about it. I think she's just kind of like, fuck, another thing to like note about this man.
Yeah.
So Allie then asks Ariana about the house stuff, and Ariana says she gave a counteroffer, and we're waiting to hear what Sandoval says back. They're prepared to go to court if he doesn't answer. She says when she does move, she wants something that has a treehouse vibe. She bought a house
Yes.
that totally gives off
I
treehouse
know. I
vibes.
meant to go look at it and be like, does this give off treehouse vibes?
I think so. When I've seen it, it's like a little higher up, and like I think you take stairs to get there. But she wants something that's hers and no one can take away. So then
Amen.
we go to the Cairo Bank, I think is what it's called. I don't know. It's the sperm place.
Yeah.
So Lala and Sheena are here. They talk about how they set up their estate plans for their kids. Hey, I get it. My parents set that up the day I turned 18. So happy birthday.
This is like a funny divide between parents and non-parents in the group.
I have no estate plans. Like, I don't care.
Because you like don't need one. Like,
Yeah. Send all my
it's
stuff to
fine.
wherever. Yeah. So Lala wants to be pregnant again. She's at this place for an appointment so she can
Mm-hmm.
learn about getting a donor, a sperm donor. As we know, she wants a child she is fully in charge of. It can't be this child can't be taken away from her.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Lala wants to know how legit these donors are. It made me think of that scene from The Office where Jan gets a sperm donor for her kid, and then Kevin's like, the sperm bank behind the IHOP. I go there, and she's like, "Oh my
She's
god."
like, fuck.
So Lala wants to make sure she's not going to get Kevin from behind the IHOP.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guy that they meet with, Brian, says that most of the men here are really just trying to help women who might need, a little extra help having a baby. And all donors go through a ton of screaming. And Lala's like, that's so great. I'm going to have a sperm donor party so everyone can help me pick out the donor of sperm.
I thought this was actually kind of cute. She was like, my first child was made out of what she
What?
deemed love at the time, which I do believe there was love there.
Yeah.
And she kind of wants us, like, she wants to try and recreate, or not recreate, but create an environment of love. And I was like, wait, I'm excited for this Lala. Like, this story about Lala, but when she makes her
Same.
storyline about Ariana, I don't like it. Like,
Agreed.
this is Lala. I hate Lauren from Utah. Lauren from Utah is talking shit about Ariana, and I'm pumped about this. Like, I truly am happy she's having a baby, but I just can't see past everything else she's doing
I
when
was
it
going to
comes to her
say,
overall season.
I gotta be honest. I really wanted to cheer her on at this part, but I'm unforgiving at this point.
That's the thing, is I have like so much bad taste in my mouth about her this season that it's hard to root for her. But I was like, all right, this is cool. Like, all
Yeah.
right, like, you're working on your family. Like, makes sense to me. Like, show me your life. Like, this is a different path for life. Like, I don't think I've ever seen something like this on reality TV. And so, like, let's walk this path. Like, here we go.
Yeah, I just wish I cared more about Lala at this point. Anyway, but so Lala and Sheena talk after. Lala's very excited to be forming a family because she currently feels like her family is something that's broken. Sheena, of course, gasses Lala up, says she's an amazing mother and will provide
Mm-hmm.
her babies with the most amazing life, which I do not doubt. Lala is heartbroken. She can't give her kids exactly what she had, like a two-parent household.
Yeah.
She feels like she failed Ocean, and it wasn't because of her. She's not going to risk that again with her second child.
I felt this. I felt her emotion. Like, this is very tangible, like what she was going through here.
Agreed. I like wish I didn't like have anger
I
towards her.
I know.
It was hard for me to separate it, and I know that's not right, but it was.
I think finding out Lala was pregnant before episode 10, or like the last few episodes, like, it didn't build up for me. Your Rage
Oh,
Lala episode, I think we found out she was pregnant before that. So I'm like, I can hold space for like the happiness for her with her family, but then
Yeah.
I'm starting to come down on like even any grace or on any storyline after watching this episode. I got a lot more hate for like her with a lot of stuff we'll talk about at the end.
Yeah, I think her and Sheena both are playing their arcs wrong. Like Sheena can talk about her OCD, Lala can talk about her kid.
Yeah, and
They're
like
playing their arcs wrong.
be in your own lane. Like that yeah.
Well, they get out of their lane because they're going to talk about the beach. And Sheena's like, I'm really hung up on the combo we had with Ariana, which I was like, you should be. She was very upset. But then Sheena or Lala says, Ariana won't win this game. Ariana needs to move out because uh or
I
and because she won't, Lala doesn't feel bad.
Okay, what game? Like I was like, what game are we talking
This is a
about?
legal situation. What are you talking about?
This isn't a game. Like the
Just because
way
you lost your game. No, shut the fuck up. You know what, Lauren from Utah, fucking call me. We'll
I was
discuss
like,
this.
this isn't a game though. Like the fact that
This
you
is
think there's
life.
two sides and like one person is right and wrong and it like flip flops constantly and Ariana's in the wrong. I was like, what planet am I on?
And because she won't move out, you don't feel bad. So why would you feel bad for Tom Sandoval and try and recreate that whole thing?
I keep seeing online where people are like, why has nobody asked Tom Sandoval to move out?
Like I'm crazy.
I just
I don't want to spend too much time because these
I
two are
agree.
trash.
Keep going.
So Sheena thinks Ariana. Oh my god, I can't believe I have to read this.
This is why I was so upset this episode.
Oh my god. So Sheena thinks it's oh my god, Ariana's pride with
I
not wanting to live in an apartment.
I was like, what?
To which Lala gets heated. She's like, oh, she's too proud to live in an apartment. And I was like, you guys just pulled this out of what? Like, what are you mad about? This is false. This is fake news. You're mad about fake news.
I was like, I'm sorry, where did that come
What?
from?
First of all, Sheena? What are you talking about?
I'm not joking.
Oh
This season is giving me a entire rule book of how I will not let my friends treat me.
I'm like, or how I will not treat my friends. Like, this is terrible.
Which, like, I didn't think this stuff ever need to be stated. That's why I didn't need a rule book, but apparently it does. Because if you are doing this on national television where the world can roast you over being a horrible friend, what will people do who are not on television do to you?
I just, like, I can't. Like, what do you think you're doing? Oh, I'm just spitballing here, but it's probably Ariana's pride because why would she want to live in a gross apartment? And I'm saying this knowing I'm insulting Lala, who's living in an apartment. Oh, what?
Every week I think I'm crazy from the minute I watch it until we record because Alicia and I we try really hard not to talk about this show. I try not to talk to anybody about the show until we record, that I sit in my own delusion that I live in a crazy world.
You're like, I'm being gaslit.
Yes.
This is crazy. This is crazy. If this is the vibe for the reunion, I'm going to write Bravo the worst letter in the world.
Alicia.
This is crazy. We're being gaslit.
Just wait. I think I have the explanation for it all in the end. But if this is the energy we get from the reunion, I'm telling you, I will not record this if it gets a season 12. I am done with this show.
You know who needs to host the reunions is Paige DeSorbo. She would to show up and be like, "This is Sheena. You're crazy. You're crazy."
There was somebody recently where someone was like, "Hey, I think you should host the reunion, not Andy Cohen." And I was like, "Yeah, I would much rather have that."
Me, probably.
Anybody. I don't, in Andy, I don't trust him. He said recently that like Lala's the voice of reason of this season, Lala and Brock, and then he backtracked on his Sirius radio show. And I'm like, if that's the energy he went into the reunion with, we're all fucking screwed.
Also, what is Andy Cohen on about? Like, oh, I watched the last 7 episodes. They're so insane. No, is it because you're also being gaslit? Like, are we all?
And everybody's like, he has a producer brain. I think he likes what Lala is doing. And I'm like, yeah, I bet producers are loving this, but I'm not.
No, I don't trust her.
this show missed the mark on what people thought, like what
This
would
is
think.
crazy. I
Yeah.
keep going. Okay, so we make a stop at Joe's hair salon. Schwartz is here and he's basically going through a midlife crisis. So spoiler alert, he's dyeing his hair bleach.
Okay,
We knew
I
about
was
this.
actually kind of excited to get a scene about Joe. Joe, like what is
She
Joe
was
about?
again not cringy.
Oh no, she was for other reasons, professionally cringy. Let's get into
Well,
it.
okay, so he tells Joe he went on a date with Tori. Him and Tori kissed. It wasn't as hot a kiss as him and Katie, also because
No,
watching Schwartz do anything is an ick.
Katie wins always.
Joey's like, why doesn't Tori get hate for dating in the friend group when like I'm not even in the friend group and the girls hate me? Am I crazy again? This girl's not in
Okay,
the friend group.
but then Schwartz is like, "Oh yeah, that's called off because Katie slept with Max." I'm like, "That's
That's
not.
why.
That's when the rule is no. The way you can't take accountability that the rule got called off the minute you kiss Raquel is insane to me. Also, Joe, you moving in with Katie's ex, like 3 months after they decided to get divorced and weren't even legally divorced, and Katie sleeping compared to Katie sleeping with Max a year and a half after they decided to get divorced is so vastly different. I mean, the sleeping together is like on both counts is like not a great level. Like the kiss truly is a smaller thing compared to like sleeping with someone, like when comparing two actions. But the timing is Joe
That's what makes
moves
the kiss
in.
work. That's what
Joe
makes
moves
Schwartz's
in,
shit work.
and the
Yeah.
kiss happened like 3 months after the decision to divorce. And the sleeping together is a year later.
That's what makes it worse, is the timing
Yeah.
of it all.
And the way they can't see that, again, I'm like, what planet am I living on?
Also, Joseph? Is that how you'd like to be referred to as Joseph?
Okay,
You're
I really weirdly like the
no,
nickname
stop.
Joseph.
Joseph, you're not in the friend group.
I know.
Tori's not
I
either.
Girl, you weren't in the friend group when it happened, and you aren't in the friend group
We didn't
now.
even know who you were until Katie called you a crackhead. What are you talking about? So whatever. But then we find out Tori's going on a date with Katie today. And then we cut to Katie's apartment and they're
Cute.
painting. It's
Wait,
the cutest girl date.
I love this. That's
Tori's
another thing. I feel like if I were to ever date a woman, I could just do the things I want to do. I don't have to overanalyze, like, oh my God, what will he think about it? It's like, no, she'll want to do that with me. She'll want to sit and paint.
women are amazing. Have you heard of the 4B movement in
No.
South Korea?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's basically, if for those of you who don't know, women in South Korea are refusing to date men, have sex with men, marry men, or procreate with men. So basically, it's to the point now that A, men are so broken, they don't know what to do. But B, the Korean government is scared that the women aren't procreating enough to like keep their society going.
They
Be,
aren't. No, that's like a fact.
well, yeah,
Is
there
no
actually
children
aren't.
in
There's no
kindergarten
children.
classes because it's
Yeah.
been 5 years since they started this.
Yeah, there's no children. And so everyone's like begging them to just date men, and they're
They're
like,
offering $73,000 a one-time payment to have a child, and people are like, "Do you realize how expensive it is to raise a child for 18 years?"
but also the women are like, hey, can the men treat us with respect? And the men are like,
Oh,
absolutely not. And then they're like, hey, can we have the same rights as men? And they're like, absolutely not. So the women are like, no. And the government's like, we'll pay you not even half of what it takes to raise a child. And the women are like, but you can't give us like rights? Like, what are you talking about? So that's what this is. And that's what needs to continue happening is girls just date girls because it's
that's
easier.
I'm taking that into my life. I'm not joking because like I'm not here to deal with like shitty
This
men.
date was more fun than any date I've ever been on.
Whether
and I
it's
was even there.
romantic or not, like hanging
beautiful.
out with another female is 20 bajillion times more fun than
Agree.
hanging out with most men.
I will say though, Tori, she's a little young for me. She doesn't
Agreed.
know really who Bob Ross is.
Alicia, this lit me up because she was saying that she didn't even know Bob Ross was alive when cameras existed.
That was it. That was it. And Katie was like, Katie's like, I'm older than Bob Ross. No, she's not. But
Me
you
and my
know,
two guy cousins have a joke about Bob Ross videos because one day my cousin had to be on a conference call and me and my other cousin literally with sound off watched Bob Ross for an hour. No
dude,
sound.
what else would you want?
Loved it. We
Yeah,
talk about it constantly.
I love Bob Ross. he gives like Mr. Rogers vibes. Like it's just
Yes.
calming, it's
I could just have
lovely.
that shit on in the
It's
background.
like non-problematic. That's what TV used to be. Now we get this shit.
He
I'm
always talks
getting
about the
gaslit.
trees are waving.
Yeah, I'm getting gaslit now by two women, one of which is named after a note, Lala. It's not even a
Okay.
real word.
I was thinking, I thought you were going to go Teletubbies, but
Oh my god, it is a Teletubby.
yes. A creepy character on a TV show that we
Oh,
were all
terrible.
brainwashed with years ago. They're trying to get brainwashed us with another Lala.
I can't. So, we go back to the hair salon. Schwartz thinks Tori probably prefers Katie, and like, who wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
So tonight, Schwartz and Sandoval are going to their singles mixer, and Joe's like, "Hey, I want to come," and Schwartz is like, "Okay,"
I
and
immediately was like, this is going to be a disaster.
immediately, so all of a sudden, Schwartz is beach blonde. Um,
Okay, really quick, because we didn't talk about the application of that hair stuff. I'm no hairstylist, but the minute she put that on his scalp, I said, that is not right. There is no way you want to put something that is bleaching your hair that gooey directly on your scalp, that much of it directly on your scalp. And then I kept seeing the TikToks about like everybody saying like, as a hairdresser, like I immediately know Joe's not a real hairdresser.
Yeah, so I watch a lot of hair dyeing videos because I think it's funny when people dye their hair and ruin it and have to chop it off. Because I would never dye my own hair. I would never bleach my own hair, let me
Oh
tell
my
you.
god.
So you're supposed to start at the ends because your
Yes,
scalp is hot, so
it's
it
sensitive.
activates the bleach more. So then
Yeah.
you're gonna get uneven. I am glad Joe toned at least, which is
Okay.
why it went from orange to like bleach blonde.
No, people said somebody else
Someone else stepped in
did something in between this scene and
the toning.
no and when we see him in the next scene for that like singles night,
Oh,
he went to
probably.
another hairdresser.
Listen, either way, his hair looked damaged as
I
fuck.
think they said that on the after show. I was like, oh, this whole I just there I don't trust I would not trust a lot of people with my hair. And I didn't really trust Joe as a hairdresser, but I had never seen her in action. But now this confirms absolutely not.
His hair looked damaged as fuck at that mixer. I got a note about it. Okay, so now we have ladies' night, and I would just like to shout out to the coolest walk up we've ever gotten.
You
The
know what it gave
music,
me?
the walk up,
It was giving Siesta Key like
it was giving
cinematography.
Siesta Key.
You
Oh
know
my
that
god,
like
so good.
sound on TikTok where it's like, show me the clips that give off the same energy.
That's
I like
it.
so badly wanted to get 2 clips, but I just didn't want to do the work behind it. So this is me telling everybody now.
Her
That's
idea for
my
TikTok.
verbal TikTok.
That's genius. But it's Lala, Katie, Sheena, Ariana. Best walk up of I could rewatch this all day, every day. Okay, so Katie, they sit down. Katie tells us about her date with Tori, and Sheena's like, "Oh, Tori also went out with Schwartz," and Katie's like, "I literally
I
don't
love that Lala
care."
had no idea.
Great, yeah, fuck you. We're not friends.
Mm-mm.
Whatever. Tequila Katie's a host, so she's gonna do what she wants. And Katie's like, Schwartz has Joe anyway. I don't know why he's out here dating Tori. And then we cut to the LA singles party. And this is where I said Schwartz's blonde hair is very damaged and not styled correctly. It
There,
it looked
Schwartz
terrible. You
and
took off that
his
hat. Ugh.
whoop.
It
Oh
was
my
like
god.
everywhere. Yeah,
Schwartz's hair
so
is always here, there, and everywhere, and it's like a character of its own, and it cracks me up, but not in an intentionally funny way. I'm laughing at him.
yeah, oh for sure. So Schwartz talks about his date last night. And Joe makes a comment that Tori is weird.
I was
I was
like,
like,
oh no no no.
hey pot, meet kettle, what's up? So then
Tori is not weird though.
even if she fucking is, like, look who's calling her weird. Like, really?
True.
You took your turtle on a walk and it got stuck in a sewer. What are we talking about?
I,
So, Sandoval knows Schwartz and Joe are not on the same page in their relationship. For as Dulu as this man is, he can see what's right in front of him here.
Alicia, I finally feel like we saw Sandoval seasons 1 through 9, where it's like when he is not truly like emotionally involved with the situation, he has good reads
You
and good
can see it.
interviews. Like this is the Sandoval that we've seen on the show years prior, like where
Yes.
he gives us a take and he calls it like it is, and it's just like he'll be like the bad guy who like reads the
Yeah.
situation.
I mean, he continues and says Schwartz is just, quote, so charming all the time, unquote,
Okay,
that
he is charming.
he gives mixed signals. And I was
Yes.
like, well, yeah, but also this dude's really easy to just destroy. I don't know why we're falling for
Oh
his
my god.
charm.
Absolutely. But if you are willingly blind, which I think
I
Joe
know we've
is,
all fallen for it. I know. I
it's
get
I'm
it.
like, wow, this yep, I know exactly what this situation is, and I can see how this night's gonna go. A singles night in LA.
Yeah. And
Ooh.
he says Joe is just looking at this as potential. So
Hmm.
we cut back to girls' night. And then Lala's like, oh my God, guys, I went to a hot dog stand with Joe. And both Katie and Ariana are like, excuse you?
What?
Katie immediately is like, how and why? And Lala's like, Joe wanted to share her side of the things. And Katie's pissed. Katie's, well, confused and a little pissed. She's like, why would you do this to me? This girl is nothing to you. I'm something to you. And I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
bitch.
I felt that.
And Lala's like, oh my God, all I did was have a conversation when I reached out. Like, then in her interview, she's like, Joe is harmless. And I was like, ma'am.
No, not only does she say she's harmless, like she's not coming after your guy. And I was like, did we not live through season 11 or 10 together? Like, she basically moved in with Schwartz and sent a weird fucking text to her
She
or
says
to Katie.
she normally doesn't believe that like vaginas just fall on penises. But like in their case, maybe it does. And I was like, we're just out here falling on dicks. What are you talking about?
I was like,
They
you,
they have sex and
what?
it's like whoops.
If you told me that they slept together once, okay, you could convince me of that. Like, you could say that little argument of like, oh, it just like happened.
They're literally
But
living together sometimes.
that's not what happened.
Why? Also, Joe isn't harmless. She moved in with Katie's ex
And
days after their divorce.
helped facilitate Sandoval's affair.
She's not jealous or she's not harmless. For as stupid as she is, she's not harmless. She's causing harm. She caused your two of your friends harm.
She
She
is more harmful than Raquel's first few seasons when you kept calling her a Bambi-eyed bitch.
immediately.
What?
What are you
It
doing?
annoys me that Lala gets to decide who and what people are.
Yeah, agreed. When it's convenient for her.
Yeah, like, oh, I get to decide now that she's like
Yeah.
harmless. And then she said that she felt bad for Joe. Well, you didn't feel so bad in the moment from Hotel Ziggy to actually chase Joe down and make sure she was okay. You didn't actually care about her.
Oh my God. So Katie's like, why? What? And Lala says she's soft right now. So she met up with Joe because Joe reached out. And Katie called Joe a crackhead. So Lala wanted to hear both sides. And Katie's like, what?
Okay, she called her a crackhead like a year ago. Again, if you actually cared about that, you would have made it happen off the show.
It's just a lot. So Katie's like, what the fuck? One day Schwartz is the worst, and now you're his friend and you're doing him favors. And Lala's like, Schwartz isn't even my friend. I barely see him. And I was like, I'm sorry, didn't
Whoa.
last episode we get like 3 scenes with you?
If you don't care about Schwartz, then why do we care about
Why?
where his friend sits in this friend group? You just said if you can be a good friend to Schwartz, you're going to do it. But now you don't care about him?
Am I crazy? So
Alicia, this is why I don't understand why you text. I guess I do because
it's a good
you texted
episode.
me that at Top Golf that you like loved the
No,
episode.
I still think this is a good episode. So
I
Katie,
still feel like I'm fucking crazy.
yeah, but it's a good episode because Katie calls it out. She's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you don't make sense. And Lala's like, my life is not for you to make sense of. And Katie's like, whatever. Well, I like people who are consistent and loyal. And both Lala and Sheena are like, Lala's very consistent for
You're
you.
you are the least consistent person this season.
Sheena's like, I'm not consistent, but Lala.
I was like,
Sheena's like, I know what consistency is because I don't have it.
yeah.
But Lala's got it.
You know what? I have a good read on consistency because I'm really consistent.
I'm actually
So like
not.
Lala
I'm
is.
actually a flip flopper, and Lala's doing the opposite of what I'm doing, so she's consistent. What the fuck? So,
What?
well, Katie's like, this doesn't feel fucking consistent. And Lala
No.
says, Katie wasn't best friends with Raquel or Joe, so Katie has to let it go. And good luck if you hold on to that anger. Why?
What?
Why is Lala the one that's like everyone has to let it go starting now?
Yeah.
Starting
Why
right
are you
now.
going to determine who and when they let go? And like, why is that Katie wasn't friends with Joe or Raquel mean that she can't hold on to things? So if
Also,
somebody random murdered my family because I didn't know them, I have to just let it go?
yeah, you don't know them.
Yeah, I wasn't friends with them. Let it go.
You actually don't know them. And also if you hold on to that anger, Meredith, like good luck to you.
Because I'm soft now.
But I'll decide when you have to let it go.
Yeah, because you're
Just let
soft.
me
Like
know.
you're soft, and
I'm
you get to
soft.
decide my relationships and my
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah, and I'll be consistent when it's consistent for me.
Again, Andy Cohen, please remind me why Lala is the voice of reason.
Oh my god. Is Andy and Andy's trying to gaslight us.
I'm very unhappy. Like I can't wait for the world to burn around him.
I
He's off the hook on any cocaine things in my book. I don't care about that. But the minute
yeah.
you call Lala, Lauren from Utah, the voice of reason, boy,
You're not calling Katie the voice of reason. She's the person. She's in charge of the people. She's us.
I'm embarrassed. Again, I'm still embarrassed for this network, and now I'm embarrassed for Andy Cohen. Never in my life did I think I would say that.
And like Sandoval exists, and we're just out here embarrassed for Andy
That's the
Cohen.
thing. How is Sandoval the least crazy person in this episode? Or
Meredith
not
Sandoval.
least crazy,
Sandoval
but
literally owns his own paintball gear, and somehow Andy Cohen is more embarrassing than him.
what's wild is at least Sandoval is consistent. He is consistent.
He's consistently an ick. So
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so we go to the singles event. It's basically a stoplight party. You get a wristband, green as if you're single, yellow as if you're in a situationship, reds if you're taken. Great.
They
So
all pick green.
except Kyle Chen,
No, he takes green.
he said he's
They
single tonight.
He says, I'm single tonight, and they all put their wrists in and they all have green wristbands. I don't know what single
Kyle Chen,
tonight
who you
means.
cheating on?
That's the thing. I don't know
Anyway.
if he has a little Joe at home, but
Anyway, so I immediately go, Joe looks great at this singles event. She's way hotter than Schwartz. She could probably do numbers here.
yes, I also expected her. I really thought we were about to get a scene where she was like, hey, I'll take yellow. And he said, I'll take green.
We have to get to Raquel's podcast.
Okay, I
Okay,
can't wait.
so
I can't wait for that.
Kyle Chen tells Schwartz, like, you need to stop hanging out with Joe. Then we cut to Sandoval, who's flirting with some girl who likes when men wears women's jewelry. And he says, I wear a lot of women's stuff, not just the jewelry. So
I will give him this. He is entertaining sometimes because this scene,
he knows who he
I
is.
was like, all right, this is the first thing I think I've enjoyed with Sandoval this
Rock out.
entire episode
So
or
then
season.
some girl takes Schwartz's hat. Joe is very concerned about the hat. I'll spill this part from the podcast. Apparently, this was a hat that Schwartz's dad gave to him that was very special to him. So that's why Joe was like, dude, not your special hat. Not
Interesting.
that Joe should have cared, but like
I didn't even
that's where she was coming from.
clock the hat. I thought it was like a Schwartz and Sandy's like
I thought it was a Schwartz and Sandy's hat because he's like, I got 70 back in my storage unit.
yes, yeah.
But no,
So
Joe said it was like a very sentimental hat that his dad gave him.
but he has 7 of them.
I think he was just, well, she also, again, I know we said we weren't going to do this, but it's just about the hat.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, also, like, at some point, Joe was like, okay, well, you gave the girl the hat. I tried to step in. And she says that she, like, just walked away. But then Schwartz was, like, very stressed about getting this hat back from this girl.
I'm like so mad at I've never I feel like noticed how much production is involved in a show, and I feel like as a collective like viewership we are clocking it, and like more is being said lately just in the way the society is, but like I'm getting more and more annoyed.
You're going to be, so basically, this whole singles event is, like, what I have to say about from Raquel's podcast. You're going to be pissed when you hear about what
I
production did.
can't wait. Okay, let's do the
Okay.
show version.
So, Sandoval, bring the girl asked, do you have any tattoos? And he goes, I have a flaming A on my ass. The bacon A.
Not the bacon A. I can't believe he still has that. I would have gotten removed.
He got it removed once on the show.
Yeah, I don't
You
think he
obviously
went.
have to do multiple sessions, but
That's the thing. I think he went for like one session on camera and never went back. But that also like If I'm Raquel, I'm embarrassed. Fucking this man with a half lasered off
If I'm
bacon egg.
Sandoval, I'm embarrassed to have it.
He loves the bit of it, I bet. People ask him to see it. Like,
Who cares? So even this girl, like with Schwartz's hat, he doesn't believe he's single because Joe's around. But then she kisses him, and then Joe crashes the kiss to say like goodbye.
she's very frazzled.
Yeah, and she just leaves. So Joe thought they were here to support Sandoval, but now Schwartz is like around other women, and
I
she feels used and like chopped liver.
if Schwartz had actually invited her, this would make sense to me. But like, you asked to come, and he said he was going to
Yeah.
a singles night.
I agree. I think it's the whole aspect of like he's telling her one thing when they're alone and doing a
Yes,
totally different thing.
yeah, that's what I really think. Like, she thought coming on this show
Was going to make it easier for them as a couple to be together.
to be more out in the open, even if not officially together. And when that didn't change, I think she like started to melt down, as one would. Like, I would.
But dude, also you got to give it to her. I mean, she's like, I'm going to do this for my man. I'm going to get shit on by these women, but like it'll show Schwartz I'm fucking here for him and I'm going to fight for him. And he just makes out with a different girl.
I think this is like a reminder to us that like,
Men ain't
you
shit.
can't live in the gray area. Like,
Men ain't shit.
no,
Do not let them get it
don't go
without
off
giving you something
hopes,
back.
the wants and hopes, and you're like, what could be? It's like, if you don't have it now, you probably will never.
You could do better. So
Yikes.
Schwartz says maybe it's not realistic to be this close to Joe and just be friends. And I literally want this man will never be happy. He literally he's looking at his soulmate and he's still like, I don't want to date her.
I
He's his own worst enemy at this point.
Alicia,
I don't feel bad if
I
you never find happiness and you're not pregnant.
him saying that, I was like, Team Joe. I
You're
am
your
like,
own worst enemy, my
I already
guy.
felt bad for her with him, but like, I am fully Team Joe when it comes to Schwartz. Like,
Well,
fuck
then
him.
Joe gets her little interview and she says her and Schwartz are still hooking up and
I
they say, I love you to each other. And she's tired of feeling like a secret. Good.
okay,
Out him.
I thought she was done for a minute there, being like, wow, like you're just like in, booty call at night and you think something else is happening. But if this man is telling you I love you behind the scenes,
I cannot wait to get to her health podcast. Okay,
oh my God, I
so
can't wait.
then we go paintballing. So it's a bunch of people, basically a quick list: Sandoval, Billy Lee, Kyle Chen, Brock James, Allie, Lala, Schwartz, and Sheena.
Billy Lee is back.
Oh my God. Is she out there paintballing?
I didn't notice. I only noticed when I saw them on the like course, and I was like, is that fucking Billy Lee behind a mask?
Billy Lee's just
Because I can't watch Sandoval's like adventures.
yeah. So James calls out Schwartz for dyeing his hair to hide the grays, and Bravo gives us a nice little like Schwartz has been changing the color brown for a long time, and James
The
is the only one that
receipts.
clocked it.
This is why I love James. Like, thank you, James. Never leave us.
He like became sober, and now he just pays attention to fucking everything.
No, he was funny and paid attention and
He was
had little
clocking
quick.
it before.
I feel like he doesn't care. Like, he'll just say anything, and because it's like filtered to us, the funny things get to us. You know,
it's hilarious. He's hilarious. So yeah, so Sheena doesn't like being outside without a VIP bathroom.
the way she was like, I thought this was going to be like laser tag, ma'am. Paintball is not new. I've never been paintballing, but I would know exactly what I'm getting myself into if I thought I was watching paintball.
You know what? Fight for what you deserve, you know?
Did you also notice her and Lala were holding those fucking Heineken Zeros? And I'm like, why are we showing up with Heineken Zeros? We're not at a bar.
Stop drinking zero out beer, especially a fucking Heineken.
Dude, just bring a little, like...
Just drink water.
Bring the Perrier. Yeah, like...
Drink the water.
Bring a soda. Like, why do we need a Heineken Zero? What are we sponsored by them? Can we just be clear?
Crazy. I don't know. Okay, so we find out this was hilarious. You can go blind playing paintball and also get bitten by a rattlesnake.
Oh my God. I never wanted to go paintballing, but this confirmed
now I definitely don't.
It'll never be in my future.
Yeah, so Lala, Allie, and Sheena are not playing. So whatever, the people who are playing, they count out for teams. I love that it's like Sandoval and then James's team.
James is number one. His team is number one.
James is
Number
number
one
one.
guy in the group.
I also love the minute he gets a paintball gun in his hands, he's a different person. He's like, yeah, the paintball gun. So whatever. So Sandoval looks so stupid in his Transformer outfit. I've decided that owning your own paintball gear is an ick, but also when you're bad at paintball, like him, and you own your own gear, that's a double ick.
Yeah. I mean, but that's so Sandoval.
I've decided if a man ever tells me he owns his own paintball gear, it's an ick for me.
There's just a lot where I'm like, hey, you can be passionate about things, but if you're going to be passionate, you should be good. You're right.
You should be good. You shouldn't be out before James. Like, come on, you know?
He got out from his foot, too.
Can you believe that the women out here are not as intelligent, emotionally as intelligent as James? And then Sandoval out here is not as good a paintballer as James. Can you believe that James is just coming up? He's
In my
coming up too.
mind, James has maybe paintballed once in his life.
They don't have paintball in London. He has no idea what this is. He showed up and he went, what is, I also thought it was laser tag. He's the one that told Sheena it was laser tag. He's like, it's with the laser, Sheena, we got this. He has no clues. So the girls then talk, the ones that aren't playing. Lala's like, Sandoval's got some really weird 23-year-old friends. And I was like, yeah, that is weird.
Yes.
But then Sheena's like, I hang out with Tori and she's 24. And I was like, go off. You know what? Brag your win.
But here's the thing. When somebody says, God, it's really embarrassing when somebody does this, Sheena's like, oh my God, I do that.
It's double embarrassing for me.
You have no remorse or like.
Out yourself. There's no shame. So then Lala asked the girl about girls' night because apparently Lala left and then Sheena left like shortly after. So whatever. Also, they're sober. So Katie and Ariana, I hope, just had a night, like a drunk tequila night.
I hope they got hammered because like the delusion happening at half that table.
For every time they feel crazy, I hope they did a shot.
I mean, I was concerned about drinking too much on this episode that we're even recording because I feel like I need a drink from the delusion I have to deal with.
So they tell Allie there's really bad energy because of Katie and Lala getting into it. And Lala says that her and Katie are always kind of getting into it. And Sheena shares with Allie, like, it's because Lala just only went to get a hot dog with Joe. Like, it's not even a big deal. And Allie's like, no, I'm so happy you grabbed a hot dog with Joe because I was worried about her. And they're like, which, Allie, just shut up, girlie.
Okay. Allie is like being genuine though. Like Lala isn't concerned about Joe.
I know. I was still like, Allie, pick a lane.
I know.
Allie.
I was like, hey, Allie, now's not the time.
We're in the wolf pack. How dare you agree with this?
Allie, we're not having sad feelings about Joe right now. Can you have those later?
Hey, Allie, shut the fuck. No, I'm just kidding. I love Allie, but also shut up.
But actually, shut the fuck up.
So, Katie is obviously upset because Katie likes loyalty, and Lala says, what loyalty? Because Katie fucked her ex's best friend. And I said, she does not owe Schwartz loyalty. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What does that have to do with you, Lala? What does that have to do with her loyalty to you?
Girl, do you know what loyalty is?
I was like, okay.
When Schwartz was dating Katie and he made out with a bunch of girls, that was not loyal.
No.
So Katie does not owe this man loyalty in their divorce. What are you talking about? This was the craziest part for me. I was like, this is her ex.
It upset me because we started the episode with Ariana crying to 2 of 3 of these ladies. And I was like, how fucking dare you? Stop bringing this energy behind Ariana's back. If you have something to say, Lala, you usually say it to people's face. Why are we being so cowardly now?
Because Lala's Lauren from Utah is a fucking slimy little bitch. And she should come talk to me about it.
If I saw Lala in an alleyway, I would
fuck her up verbally, probably.
I have never wanted to get into a physical fight more than with Lala this season.
I feel it always. So yeah, great. So Schwartz gets no loyalty.
Whole body is like pulsing with anger.
So then we go to Schwartz's apartment. Shout out the Wisconsin magnet. Woo woo, Midwestern.
Oh my God, I didn't even see that. But I was like, oh my God, Joe's already here and she's like chilling and like talking.
Joe's here.
I was like, what is this scene?
Joe's here. they still live together probably because she's doing dishes, so I assume she's there.
I
Um,
was so confused.
so Schwartz asked Joe what happened the other night. Was he sending mixed signals? He's the dumbest
Listen,
human. He's the
listen.
dumbest.
I understand how a lot of people, when dating, want to live in this gray area where if they don't say it, then they don't have to feel bad. But if you have to ask if you are sending mixed, I think a lot of people know that they are probably sending mixed signals, but they don't want to identify it, so then they don't have to feel guilty. But
Hey,
Schwartz,
hey, I know we're hooking up and I'm telling you I love you. And then I went to a singles event and got a green wristband.
am I sending mixed signals? I don't know if I am or not.
I don't know because I actually made out with girls in my 12-year relationship. So
And
making out
then
in a
bait.
girl
Oh yeah,
with a
that's true.
girl in front of you really didn't like trigger
Somebody
anything.
on TikTok this week was like, "Oh wow, like Schwartz treats Kate or Joe way better than Katie," and I go, "No, I've decided you can only be, or Schwartz will treat you well if you're his friend, but he cannot be your friend and somebody you're sleeping with slash your partner. He can only be good to you in one zone."
Agreed. And it's only the friend zone because he's
Yeah, and
not good
like
to you.
the minute you think you could progress that further, like Joe probably did, he treats you horribly.
Yeah, he's terrible.
This is clear as day.
So he says he doesn't want to be in a relationship. He wants to, and he gets numbers, and he wants to, and he does hook up with people. And Joe is like, great. Imagine how I feel. And Joe starts Schwartz starts interrupting. He goes, no, I know, I got it. And Joe goes, but, shut the fuck up. And I was like,
I was like, yes.
oh my
I
God.
was like, crush his soul.
Do you know what it gave? It gave Love Island series 5, where Mara goes, or Moira, what's
It's
her name?
hard.
She goes, but what? To that one guy.
The guy from the
that like
when they were
talks
supposed to
shit
go in
about
that
her.
suite. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
it's we're gonna see if she's on mouth or not. And he's like, I
Yep.
wasn't saying I was but what?
I was
That was
like,
this.
damn,
Shut
Joe.
the fuck up.
Like, we're not being chill girl anymore. Like, burn him at the stake.
I kind of liked this, or I loved
Yeah,
this.
I love
So
this.
she asked if Schwartz is embarrassed by her, and my whole heart broke.
I wanted to give her a hug.
He says, no, people just think we're secretly dating. And she's like,
No, he said that he hears that she tells people they're secretly dating, and
oh,
I was like, "Oh fuck!" If Joe was going around town saying that like they are dating, there's two things. Either, I mean, he's saying "I love you" and all that stuff behind closed doors, and so she is really confused and saying like, "We are very serious behind closed doors," or she's like trying to like backhanded pressure him into like dating, like trying to tell everybody that they're dating when they're not. Like to lock him down.
I mean, either way, she
I was
says,
embarrassed for her a little bit with
I
that.
wasn't. I wasn't.
If you're
I
telling
was
people
still,
you're dating and you're
but
not, I was like, girl, don't do that.
I bet they are. He's sitting here going, I love you. We're still hooking up. You're my best friend. You're my
That's the thing.
person.
I need 24 surveillance. I need all information.
I wasn't embarrassed. Well, she says, she's like, it's okay to not be a secret. And Schwartz is like, how about we just don't hang out as much? And Joe's like, or at all.
And I was like, yeah, girl,
And
don't
Schwartz
see
is
this
like,
man ever again.
Schwartz is like, okay, yeah, that too. And I was like, you're a dick. You're a
That,
dick.
you know, she said that hoping he would be like, no, I really, like, I want you
Miss
in my
you.
life.
But like also to not be like, okay, if that's what you want, like I'm gonna be sad, but I understand. And just to be like, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Terrible. And then Schwartz is sad that Joe said that because him and Joe have a friendship and they support and love each other. But he just wants to have fun. And Joe's like, okay, I get it, but whatever. So they agree that they have an easy connection and they would be
Mhm.
perfect for each other. And that's why Joe says she needs time because she does have these feelings for him.
This, I feel this. I don't connect with a lot of people, and so when you do on that type of level, I feel like you kind of feels like it's this like kismic connection. It's
The
hard to
once
like
in a lifetime
release
thing. Yeah.
it.
And I
Yeah.
mean, they do. Like watching
They
them,
do.
I'm sitting there
They
going, like,
do.
yeah. So Schwartz admits that to Joe that he probably also has these feelings, but he's gonna deny them.
Oh, Oh
That
my
was the
God.
rudest thing you could say to me.
I always think about how Nick Viall tells people in breakups, like, you have to let them think you're the bad guy. Like, I think Schwartz thinks telling her this information will help her feel better about this, but no, it makes it worse to say, like, I
Literally.
have feelings for you too, but I don't want to deal with them. Like, I don't
Literally
want to
makes you the
pursue
worst.
this. Like, this would make me feel so bad about
This
myself.
makes me feel shittier than just like you wanting to have fun.
That's the
Like,
thing
no,
is,
I
like,
actually do really love you, and I think we have this kismic connection, but like, you're not special enough for me to not deny
but
these
I don't
feelings.
want to pursue it. It's
Like,
not
that's
enough.
crazy. So then Joe is like crying a little, and she's like, I'm just like trying to be honest. And she says, like, I never wanted to pressure you. Like, I let you do you and be you, but like, I'm gonna miss what we have because it only comes around once in a while, and maybe we'll find that somewhere else. And Joe says Schwartz is still her favorite person in the world and wants him to be happy. And Joe actually really breaks down on this couch, and then
I
she leaves, and I was like really sad. And then he goes at, I was like, don't go after her, my guy.
He's like, Schwartz
A
plays the game where
nightmare.
he will say anything he wants, and then the minute he finds out somebody is upset, it's like he needs to reel them in just enough so they don't hate him, because like maybe he feels guilty, but it's like, let her hate you. Let her go. Let her go. Stop being selfish.
And that's how we ended the episode. We didn't get a next time on, nothing.
This made
Okay,
me sad.
I think before we do accept and block, let's really quick talk about
Okay.
like the stuff. Do you want to go first with the
Oh,
after
see, I
show?
think we should do accepted and block, and so we do it on the show and not on
Oh,
what else
okay,
is going
accepted and
on.
blocked. Let's not
I
make
mean,
it too long because we got lots to
I
go
know.
over
I'm
still.
going blocked Schwartz.
Great.
He
I
sucks.
already know why.
Accepted, I'm going Joe. I feel bad for her.
Wow,
I
okay.
know.
I'm blocking, I think Lala,
Nice.
Lauren from Utah, and I'm gonna accept Katie for getting some with Tori.
I thought you'd
That
accept
was
Katie.
easy. So, do you want to talk about the after show first? Do you want me a really quick Raquel's podcast?
I want the Raquel stuff right now. Like,
Okay.
oh my God, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat.
So it has to do with the singles event. So Joe said she admitted on the podcast, in case you didn't know, Rachel had Joe on her podcast, which I think was probably a bad move for Joe, like as far as wanting to be accepted.
Well,
in this
there was
group.
also separate controversy of like Raquel told Joe to post that
Oh
hot
my
or
God.
not list thing, and then
Doesn't
like
even matter.
people attack Joe, and then like Raquel had to come out and say like she actually made Joe do that.
But like
So
also Joe maybe shouldn't be on Rachel's
Joe should
podcast.
clear her name on a different podcast.
Yeah. So whatever. I didn't listen to this podcast, make that clear. So I saw this on TikTok. So thank you to everyone else who had to suffer through it. But so Joe admits she did invite herself to singles night. However, because her and Schwartz were at singles night together at the beginning, they drove together, and Schwartz told her, he's like, I'm gonna get a yellow wristband or red. I haven't decided, but I think we should pick the same color. And Joe was like, okay, sounds good.
Oh my God.
So she went into this, and also she said on the podcast, she goes, we were dating. Like he told me we were dating. Which like also don't date in secret because that's not a real relationship.
Okay,
but
but
also
I
get it.
understand if I was dating someone who was on reality TV who was like, hey, I don't really want to put this on camera.
I get it.
I would convince myself that this is real and everything, and he just doesn't want to put this on camera right now. Like we could sort it out when the season's over.
So she says they get to the event, the wristbands come around, and he picks up a green one first. So she's like, I didn't know what to do, so I just also picked up a green one.
Because, she went with part 2 of the plan is we are picking the same color.
But she was confused because she thought he was picking yellow or red. So that's why she says, I thought we were here to support Tom Sandoval. I didn't think because we're dating.
Oh my God.
Then she says, the whole hat thing, like she was just trying to be like, hey, that's your dad's hat, whatever. So she wasn't trying to overstep there. But she says that she really wasn't around him and that girl that long. And she came to say goodbye before, they kissed. And she left. And then he kissed her. And then the next morning, because I guess so she lives with Schwartz part-time
edit
because she doesn't live in that area or whatever. But she has a lot of like hair clients in that area. So she says sometimes she'll just crash in Schwartz's second bedroom. So
Yeah.
she was there. So the next morning she like asked Schwartz and was like, did anything happen? Did you get numbers? Did you kiss anyone? And he said no. And she didn't know he kissed anyone until production in her interview was like, yeah, he kissed someone. That's how she found out he kissed someone.
Okay, I'm excited for this reunion between those two.
That's drama that I want. That's awesome. So yeah,
I
that's what I got from the synopsis of Raquel's podcast.
I feel bad for her on her like personal level. I think
I do too.
she's kooky and hard to watch when it comes to
But
the friend group.
but
But
it's
man, I
rough.
feel for her.
Especially like Schwartz doing this shit to you. God, ugh, the worst.
Oh my god.
Um, okay, the after show.
The after show. It's I think it's just everything related to when the episode dropped, to be honest. And presently we're recording this on Thursday. It's all like a circle storm of like Lala's hate towards Katie and Ariana. Have you noticed it's very one-sided? Like
Yeah,
recently, I don't know if you saw this on social media that Lala no longer follows Katie and Ariana.
I did see that. But recently, Katie was at her gender reveal party.
Shut up.
Yeah, Katie was at her gender reveal party where she found out she was having a girl.
Katie was there.
There's a video of everyone guessing the sex, and Katie's there.
You're lying.
No. But then as of
Be-
like a few hours ago or like earlier today, she's not following Katie.
and Lala said on her Amazon Live thing, it's because of ratios of followers to following. And I thought, I can imagine, Alicia, if you looked me in the face and said, oh yeah, I had to unfollow you because my like numbers were skewed.
What? That's what you said?
Yes.
What?
Yes. If I
What
was
a
in
weird
a
thing to
fight
say.
with someone, I can't even imagine unfollowing them like freshly in the fight, even.
What a weird thing to say to anyone
I like, and
about
I looked
anything.
at her profile to like fact check it, and Lala follows like 200 people, and Katie follows like 3,000.
She does, because I just looked to see if she was following Satchel earlier tonight.
I
Weird.
are yeah. So I have noticed just a trail of Lala is consistently bashing, obviously on the show, like
Yeah.
behind Ariana's back on the show, but then on the after show, and that seems like it was like filmed here in 2024. Like the vibes I'm getting, it seems like it's pretty recently filmed.
Yeah, I can't figure out when it was filmed because it was obviously all filmed at once.
Yeah,
But they're
because
going over the whole season?
I know. So I wonder if there's going to be. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what's going on of when they got these episodes, but um, I have started to realize the way Lala, like the words Lala uses whenever she's talking to people on the episode, it just like is kind of generic words. Like she's not like, "Oh, I'm upset that Ariana isn't doing this." Like I forget what the verbiage was whenever Lala and whenever Lala and Sheena were at the cryo bank or whatever it's called, she was like, "Ariana's not going to win this game," you know?
Yeah.
So
And we're
my
like,
big
what game? What's happening?
Yes, my big thing is when I texted my cousin about the Lala Joe meetup, my cousin said that if somebody doesn't want to film a scene, they have every right to film, but it is very unlikely. And for everybody who doesn't know, my cousin's in reality TV production. Like he is a producer. He said it is very unlikely for somebody to decline because then you're at the wrath of like production being upset because of like this is a job at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
you're
Of course.
basically not showing up for your job. They're frustrated. And a lot of times they will turn the edit on you. Like they have the choice to then schedule scenes and do things. And I said, that's really interesting. Like that's what they're doing to Ariana, basically. Like they're mad Ariana won't film group
She's
events.
literally ridiculous.
And so like they're turning the edit on her. And I was like, you know what's really interesting too is Lala is like the narrator of this season. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like
Yeah.
she is narrating the group events, she is doing all this thing. And so I think she looks at this show as this is my job, this is everything to me, this is my entire life. And so does Sheena. Like they give so much to the show, they try to put a lot on it, they put a lot of effort into this show. Whereas Katie and Ariana are just like, this is a show I'm on and I have my life. And so I think there's resentment going on between those two parties about how they view this show. And that if you don't put your everything into it, like we're going to get canceled, which means like I am out of a job. And to me, it feels lately that Lala is the narrator. She's like, oh, wow, like production picked me. Like I am the end all be all here. Like I am God on this show. Like I'm the new Stassi on this show. Like what I say goes. That's what like the vibe I'm getting from Lala. And so every time she talks about like she's not going to win this game, it's like me and production, like we've got this. And I think Lala thinks that like her and production are linked up and they just get to like choose and do whatever. And Lala's going to say yes to everything that's going on. And so if production's like, fuck Ariana, like she's not playing with us. Lala's like, you're right. Like she's against us. She's going to like make me lose my job. Like I'm not going to have a career after this. Like she's fucking with my money. And like the audience is not vibing with that. Like it's so inauthentic every time Lala's upset at Ariana.
Well, that's the problem though. Like, okay,
Exactly.
so this is your job, that's great, but like you're on the wrong like popularity side. Like you're not on the
Mm-hmm.
popular side. So like what did you think was going to happen? You were going to
I know.
convince millions of people to like agree with you?
And here's the thing, Lala being upset because Ariana isn't showing up is like, I'll say a more natural emotion reaction, but they're not
Fine.
talking about it because they can't, because that really breaks the fourth wall. They can't talk about why Lala and Sheena are actually mad at Ariana. So then it doesn't make sense to us. And I think that's what we're gonna get in the finale and the reunion is them actually expressing this stuff. But again, we don't connect with that.
But fine. How does that affect you though? You're going to the stuff, you're getting paid, you're doing the group events. Like it shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
if I show up or not to work, that doesn't affect your
I think
job.
I think that Lala thinks if they're not one whole friend group, this show doesn't work.
It doesn't. It needs to be canceled. Like,
I
what are you talking
agree.
about?
But when your job's on the line, like I understand why Lala's worried,
I
but
get it, but like, I'm sorry, you're not the star. I'm sorry
yeah,
if you wanted to make sure the show gets renewed for another season, you should be focusing on your like journey as a new parent. Sheena should be
yes.
focusing on her OCD. They should. I'm interested in the shenanigans vlogs. Like,
Focus your energy on
show me
showing up
Brock,
yourself.
Lala, Sheena, like that whole
Hmm.
hangout. You don't have to like go into the past drama and like make that a thing. Like I'm sorry that like your job is at risk, but if it's at risk, you should be making it not at
You should
risk.
be doing something different.
But why are you relying on the drama of other people? Like the difference with Lala and Stassi is Stassi can be likable. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying Lala like can't, but she's very polarizing. You can hate what Stassi does and love her as a person.
Yeah.
Lala, you can't. You either love what she does and love her as a person, you hate what she does and hate what
You're either
she does
for
as a
her or
person.
against
Like,
her in that moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the same. But also, all the drama Stassi had surrounded her. She showed her whole life from A to B. Like she was out there getting cheated on. She dated a new guy from Sir. Her nudes got
Yeah.
out. She then had to apologize to Katie for being a bad friend. She had to beg to get in the wedding party. She started dating Bo. She had to learn how to be a better communicator. Like we saw all of her. Lala for a few
Hmm.
seasons hid her man.
Yeah.
We don't trust her to be the eyes of the audience. She's not the narrator to us. And like, yay for production, like trying to find a narrator, but why wouldn't you pick Katie or someone who's
Because
close in
Lala
the
will
drama?
play ball with them. Like
Well,
she will do whatever they
that's
want, which
unfortunate. So then like
hmm
your production is going to be out of a job because the
that's
show
why I
should
think
be canceled.
this is so disconnected. You're right. Like Lala isn't our narrator. Like they chose Lala.
Which is fine. I understand you have to pick someone who's shown up to work. But honestly, Sheena would have been a fucking better option at this point. Like she's less polarizing because she's like Sheena, you know, like who
Yeah, so I
cares?
feel like Lala was probably tasked with like
Or James.
similar to Schwartz, like, oh, we got to get the friend group back together. We have to make friend group stuff happen. And so when Ariana's like, no thanks, Lala's like, you're attacking my position as like manager of the group. That's
Go
what
get
it comes off to me.
go get a
Like
different job. I don't know.
it's
You
and like
monetize for months off drama that wasn't yours, that did not affect you. Okay? So you got it here. You're not going to save this show because of like even Lisa Vanderpump has a different show she's fucking focused on. She doesn't even believe in this show again.
Yeah.
Okay? Bravo got the Valley too. Like they don't believe in this shit. They know this show is at risk because like I'm apologies to Lauren from Utah if she's listening, she can't carry the show. If
No.
Ariana and Katie leave, this show will either A, get canceled, or B, not be watched. Because
It,
I'm saying it here and now, we will not do in-depth recaps of that show if those two girls are not on it.
I don't think they would even like greenlight another season. I think it's truly done because
They're trying though. If the reunion is like Lala's the hero, Lala's the greatest, I mean, yeah, they should look at what the
they're
audience
gonna
is fucking
try
saying.
to. That's the thing. Like, I wonder if they're gonna scramble to re-edit like the reunion because I wonder if they had a plan and like clearly the audience doesn't
Why
connect
aren't
with
they
this.
re-editing now? This is fucking
They
terrible.
have because or I'm sorry, not re-edit, but like change the narrative because
Fucking change it
even
now.
Andy went into that reunion saying Lauren from Utah is the voice of reason.
What is everyone smoking? Like I want
I think
some.
he is. I think she is to production. Like they are happy with what she's saying because that's what they're feeling. But she's
Again,
not the voice
so
of reason for
great.
the audience.
But like I will say, it is very similar to Rachel's podcast. If you light this show for a season 12 without Katie and Ariana, I will not give you my view. I will
I
not spend
agree.
time on this.
Oh, I'm
I
on
will
board with
not.
that. We're
I
done with
will
this
not. And
show.
like that is so embarrassing for Bravo.
I'm
Honestly. And Andy Cohen. And like I said, I will write into this network and be like, I not only am a loyal watcher, I fucking had a podcast about multiples of your shows.
Alicia. I
This
was
is
thinking
trash.
like I would love to be one of those guests on Watch What Happens Live, and I bet they vet the questions you're supposed to ask, or like the like caller inners. But I would give them a question
You
that
would
they would
go
be happy
rogue.
with, and then I would go rogue and I'd look at Annie and say, "Please explain to me how you think Lala is the voice of like a voice of
Yeah,
reason.
because I don't understand it for a second.
Like
Try
what
again.
am
What
like
am I
please explain
missing?
yourself
What am I missing?
and don't backtrack. Explain yourself.
What am I missing? You have a limited amount of time because we got 30 minutes. What am I missing?
And what are you going to do? Not answer live on air? Even more
Like
embarrassing.
it's honestly so ridiculous. I'm gonna on Summer House we got a review that says like we should work for Bravo because we actually know what Bravo people want, and I've
Yeah.
never related to anything more. My God, if I was working at Bravo and Andy Cohen asked my opinion on the season, I'd be like, A, cancel it for next season.
Okay. I'll give him. He's not a producer on it, but he is responsible for the reunion.
Yeah, I'd be like, show me the reunion because I'm scared you fucked it up. Like,
I,
how about that?
I like somebody
Also,
needs to summarize social
oh,
media reactions to internal folks in Bravo because
oh
it's
my
clearly
God.
not getting.
Also, though, the I'm over the after show and the questions asked
Mm,
because whoever's asking these questions said to Katie, like, I obviously have to ask about Tori. It makes you look bad. You know, people are going to ask, like, if you're doing this just to hurt Schwartz. And I literally went, no one is asking that. We
no,
all know what she's doing and it's hilarious and we support it. What do you mean you know everyone's going to ask? You don't know the audience. That's the problem with Bravo nowadays, honestly. They
they're
had us.
so out of touch.
But now with social media and we have a voice, you're fucking losing the audience. You're not understanding us.
That's a good point. Like they used to hand us a
And we
show
believed
and
it.
we would consume it, and that's the only it was a linear thing. We consumed it and you maybe discussed it with like your friend in person, like you and I went to work and we would discuss it. But now with instantaneous, like even with just like Twitter, I feel like things didn't go as viral and opinions didn't go as crazy. But TikTok with that algorithm, like you
That's the
see
difference.
everything.
Well, not only that, but I can give my opinion. I can actually stalk all the people if I want. I can go see
Pull
what Katie
receipts.
I can go get receipts. I can like actually make my own opinions about these people and decide if I like them outside of the show or not. I can get
Mm-hmm.
their sides because they're out here doing podcasts and making videos and like
Yeah, and
owning
it's
their own
longer
narrative.
format. Like you can do up to now you can do for a while up to 10 minutes, but now TikTok released 30 minutes worth of
So
like
like
videos.
what like Bravo really needs to rebrand.
Switch
It's
it up.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot of comments for podcasts by the people. Let's get into it. Okay, so
Okay.
Lady Swamp Witch says, Lala drive me crazy turning on Katie. I know. We just talked about it. Sorry. We're gonna kind of fly through these because I'm sure we
Yeah,
talked about everything you have.
I
Okay,
know.
Sarah L said, okay, I've watched. Here are my thoughts. Sandoval was exactly right on the money with how Joe feels about Schwartz. The poor girl has
Hmm.
such blinders on that she's seeing signals that sometimes aren't, signals that sometimes aren't there. I have a lot of sympathy for her. I thought Tom Schwartz handled the end scene as best he could have, but it's clear to me that behind the scenes he's fucked up the whole thing. And in the first place, by
Hmm.
sending mixed signals, I think he handled that terribly, but it was probably the best he could have done, maybe.
I think that's the best we could ever expect from him.
There you go. Okay, Sarah says it was really good to see Ariana break down a little and see her emotions show through. There was an earlier episode where Brock said something about how she's going to find it really difficult when everything starts to slow down, and believe that fully. Well, things still aren't slowing down, so still waiting for that, Brock.
I think that's true. Like if she has a moment alone for a month, I think a lot of things would hit her. But I think she's someone who relative like deals with her stuff no matter how crazy her
I
life
think she's
is.
in therapy working through stuff. So like
Yes.
it'll all be fine. 3, Katie and Tori equals cute. Love to see it. I want to see the love triangle develop even more. I know, I'm very
I want
excited.
more of the love triangle.
Okay, 4, Katie being mad at Lala because she had lunch with Joe. She can get over herself. The blind loyalty is toxic and not for me. I am blindly loyal.
I don't think Katie would be that mad had Lala told her, like, hey, I'm getting lunch with Joe. Because I'm pretty sure Allie, I didn't pull the receipts, but I thought about this. I'm pretty sure
Allie
when
said it
Allie
before.
when Allie was going to go do the astrological chart, I think she told Katie and the
She
girls
did.
beforehand. And that's what it is. It's just like giving a heads up. That's the loyalty.
Agreed. Also, as someone who's blindly loyal, because let me tell you, I'll like right now, anyone hurts Meredith, I want to kill him. Like, I don't care. I don't care if
Good.
you're the nicest person in the world. Like, what the fuck? How dare? And
I
if
need more of that because I like to be the devil's advocate
the
person. Like,
devil has too
hey,
many advocates, doesn't he
I know.
anymore?
But if somebody, if I was up against a Joe who fucked with your life that much, and I know that, I would bring that energy because I know the nuances behind that
I think
relationship.
that's the thing. Allie doesn't know the hurt Katie felt by Joe because Allie is not friends with Joe.
Is fresh.
Lala, for a long time, was Katie's best friend on the show.
Hmm.
And Lala's doing this behind Katie's back.
Yeah.
That's the bullshit. Anyway,
But
so
we
Sarah,
respect your differing opinion. We just don't agree.
I'm Katie. I'm blindly loyal to that girl, and she can't do a thing wrong.
I want everybody to give their opinion, even if I don't
No,
agree.
I totally agree. Give me your
But
opinion.
like, I'm side eyeing you.
It's just hard because I am Katie.
I'm like, fuck you, Sarah. That was Sarah,
No,
right?
I am Katie.
I just want to get the FU right.
Sarah, why would you do this to me? Lala is no one to me, and I am something to you. What are you doing?
Just kidding. We talked to Sarah about our differing opinions on our live Zoom.
She loves Lala. So, Sarah says, I think I'm accepting Joe this episode. She's weird and kooky, but we
Mhm.
just saw her get her heart broken on national TV. Agreed. I'm blocking nobody. I guess I could block Katie. My God. And her
I'm
Capricorn
crying.
energy? What does that even mean, her Capricorn energy?
Sarah, on the next live Zoom, we need more, and we will plan it around Australian time. I need you to explain stuff like that to me and Alicia.
Capricorn energy. Whatever. But I don't care enough this week. It was a good episode overall and nice to watch
Hmm.
watch one not centered around Scandal. Agreed. It was very
Yeah.
fun. Maybe that's why I really liked this episode. Okay. Lauren said this episode made me sad. 1, I really enjoyed the scene with Ariana, Sheena, and Lala. It felt like they were having a great bonding moment. Then they all went and talked shit about the whole thing. Yeah, I know.
I
It
was
made
shook.
it made the conversation seem fake hearing how they talked about it later, like a fake friend, not faked for the show. Yeah, well, Sheena flip flop central, but what the fuck? It's still crazy.
Oh
We're
my
crazy.
god.
2, oh man, I was in with Joe and Schwartz situationship a million years ago. It made me incredibly sad for Joe. I am now fully over it and happily married to a much better man. Oh,
Good.
like you were in this
That a
situation.
similar
Oh, I thought you
situation.
were in on the Joe and Schwartz of it all. And I was like, interesting.
And then
Okay,
and you're
sorry.
like, where does your marriage tie in?
I was like, who cares if you're married? Yeah, I get it now. Okay, So she was in a similar relationship. It made her incredibly sad for Joe. Lauren is now fully over it and happily married to a much better man, but she does not need to see that on my television or on her
Mm.
television ever again.
There's nothing worse than somebody on reality TV reminding you of
Oh my God,
yourself,
really
a
looking in the
la
mirror.
Danielle and Winter House.
Couldn't even be mad at her. So Lauren says, at least I was involved with a 25-year-old boy, not a fucking 40-year-old. Yeah, you know what? You're right.
That's
I
so
I
true.
can't imagine having
I I didn't even think about how this is a 40-year-old man
he's
child.
his own worst enemy. I said it. He's looking at his soulmate and going, I don't want to date her.
It's
Like,
my worst
bro.
fear for the person I either like or, in Katie's situation, married, to be so non-committal to the person he says he loves.
Yeah, this is Schwartz. So Lauren says, I can't imagine having this aired on national television. I would say that I wouldn't have done confessionals, but it was how she fully exposed his ass and presumably made some money in the process. You know what? Get your bag. If he's not going to give you the relationship, you might as well get the money from the
You know
show.
what? I That's the one thing I'm missing. I need something positive to come out of my horrible experiences like this, and there was nothing. I
Yeah,
would rather get money.
listen, I still don't like Joe, but like I'm all for girls destroying men and getting your money. So do what you got to do, I
Hell
guess.
yeah.
3, Lauren says it drives me bananas how Schwartz says Ariana. Everyone else says Ariana.
Me
Say it correctly, dumbass.
too.
Oh my God, Nick Viall talks about this all the time. Okay. Although we mentioned him twice and he has been going downhill,
We're
everyone.
kind of
Don't
off
listen to
on
his
Nick.
podcast. Okay. Lauren says she's blocking Brock for the second straight week for the rest of the bullshit comments on the beach. Sandoval was not castrated and does not need you defending him. Agreed. I'm accepting whichever producer decided to limit Sandoval time this episode. Truly, we do not need him. See, if
I'm out
he
on
left the
production.
show, yeah, we're out on production. But if he left the show, you could continue it. Like it would be
Yeah.
fine. Okay, so
I'm blocking. Actually, I'm changing my block to the entirety of production and Andy Cohen.
thanks, ladies. You two are the ones that we do need. Thank you so much. Also,
Thank
you might
you.
regret this after this podcast comes out at over 2 hours. So we'll see.
I'm taking my bow.
We'll see if you hate this 2 hour episode. So, um, okay, Lauren really quick says her personal theory is that Schwartz filmed confessionals for Winterhouse after his hair was bleached blonde. That's why he had a beanie on for some of those confessionals. Oh. Also, Joe's boss looked concerned during the whole hair
Yes.
process.
When
Yeah.
she goes, should we check it? And Joe goes, oh, okay.
Jeez.
I'm scared of Joe as a hairstylist. I'm sorry if you're actually a good one, but you did not do a good job marketing yourself.
No. So Tonette says Ariana and Katie were clearly drunk from the beach, and I like seeing Ariana vulnerable. I still can't get a complete. I still can't completely read Ariana, but there's something off. I can't put my finger on what it is yet. I think she's hurt, Tonette, don't you?
Oh,
I'm
wait,
just
I want to
kidding.
dive more into that. Whenever you do put your finger on it, please let me know.
Katie seems high all the time. Hopefully. I noticed Sheena was only filmed from her good side this episode, and I'm starting to
Stop.
enjoy her character more, but I still think that Good as Gold song is god awful. You're wrong. Okay, her character is not getting better, and Good as Gold deserves a Grammy award.
Good as Gold is exactly what like Hallmark Christmas movies are.
They're bad, but so good.
So good.
Schwartz doesn't look horrible with blonde hair. Granted, he looks better with his natural color. Not bad. Tonat, he hasn't had a natural color in fucking years. So
I thought it was fun, but I heard he immediately goes back to brunette. Like a
fucking
week
shame.
later.
She goes, fucking shame on James for calling him out on trying to cover up his grays, though. Getting
No.
older is a fucking struggle. We get it because we're getting older, but also call that shit out. Go, James.
But like
James
have a
is the young
consistent
spring
hair
chicken.
have a consistent hair color.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be on TV.
Okay, Tonette says, remind me why Katie doesn't like Joe. Is it because Ariana or something else? We'll get there. Katie didn't even like Schwartz in the end, and it seems like she's playing a game with him. Katie still wants to control Schwartz in a sick way. Quote, if she doesn't get to have him, then no one can.
I don't think that.
It's fucking weird that Katie and him are competing after the same person. It's like Katie is marking territory by peeing on everything and everyone. I don't follow any of the cast on IG, so maybe that's what I'm missing. Okay, so Katie doesn't like Joe because Schwartz and
Well,
Joe.
first off, before even the breakup, Joe was crazy Kristen's crazy friend. So I think
Yeah,
there was
that's
already
wild.
a like a hey, not my cup of tea.
Also, think of it this way. You're married to this man. He is not trustworthy because he's cheated on you a million times. Then he has this kismet soulmate connection with someone else. That's obviously not great. You're not going to love that person. But
Well,
also, what?
the day they broke up or
I'm getting
announced
there.
their
I was
oh, okay,
getting,
I was
yeah,
gonna say.
sorry.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we're jumping ahead to the Kismic romantic connection.
No, no, no. But like the minute they met, they had to have clicked. They're basically the
That's
same
true. Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
person. And if you're married
yeah.
to a man who,
Wait, that would drive me nuts.
imagine being Katie and then your husband is Schwartz and then
A
he's best friends with
second
Joe.
Schwartz
A man,
in girl format?
but
No.
also he probably always picked Joe over Katie in their
I don't
marriage.
think it doesn't seem like they were that close until after the marriage ended. But
Mm,
still, like the minute they're all together, like in a random group setting, that would drive me
yeah.
nuts.
So then Katie and Schwartz go through their divorce. That day, Joe like messages Katie this weird thing about like Bieber loving her and like she'll always be there for Katie. Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that it? It was
I
weird.
think she either DM'd her or texted just Katie and said like Bieber loves you. There was a text in the show
Yeah, that was
this
shown.
season, probably a few episodes back, the first time Joe showed up.
And then Joe moves in with Schwartz. They obviously are hooking up. Joe has confirmed that they've hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Joe is the girl Schwartz warned Katie not to worry about. He was like,
Yeah,
don't
I
worry
think it was
about it.
just too close to when the breakup happened, plus the weird text when they did break up. And it's like, why are you texting me and then moving in with my ex
My
husband?
ex-husband. And then
I think it was just touchy from the get go.
Joe still wants to be friends with Katie to some capacity in the friend
Yeah.
group. Like,
And I think Katie is
go
latching
away.
onto Ariana's hate of Joe as an added reason to hate
Well,
Joe,
yeah,
for the Raquel
Katie,
stuff.
I mean,
Like, you're
Katie
gonna
was
snowball
pissed.
it.
Katie
Yeah,
was
I would
pissed at,
snowball it.
well, Katie was pissed at Schwartz for knowing this.
Mm-hmm.
So then to find out Joe also knew this?
It's like, I just want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, Katie's fucking over Joe. And I get
That's
it.
why.
Fucking
That's why.
set your boundary.
I don't
Okay.
think Katie is trying to piss on her
Schwartz is saying.
territory
It
with
is
the
weird.
Tory thing.
It is weird they're both dating Tori,
I
but
know. I think that's just a storyline thing. I just think it's something
I think it
fun
is
and
too.
funny for the summer.
Yeah, I don't think, listen, I don't think Schwartz is the victim here. I think he has ruined Katie's life enough.
True.
Um, but yeah, I don't think she's like openly trying to destroy Schwartz.
No, on the after show, she was like, I'm
I
not
don't
even
think
thinking
about
about
him.
him.
Yeah. Okay, Tonette says, "Poor Joe. Sadly, I've been there. She's different, but she doesn't come off as a mean-spirited person. No, I think she's just dumb. Just low-hanging fruit to poke fun at. When you get down to brass tracks, what did she do that was so horrible? She's honestly just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. No, this is not romance,
No,
Tonette.
no,
She's
no,
not
no, no.
trustworthy. She's harmful. She's a harmful girl.
Oh my
She's
God.
she, as Lala would say, she's dangerous."
Well, I guess her vagina just fell on his dick, though.
Whoops. I hate that Schwartz gets the same edit. I hate when everyone's like, "Oh, he's so innocent," but he's like out here doing stuff that hurts other people. You know what I
That's the
mean?
thing. If I've had this, I mean, not as bad of a situation, but like the guy I dated last fall, like I feel like it was a very similar, like, oh, like I'll sleep with you, but like I don't really want to make anything happen. And it's like we're on different pages and that's fine, but be clear about it. Like that's where you're being a dick. And then Schwartz is one upping that because then we find out, because that's all we're getting on camera. We find out from Joe's interview that actually behind the scenes he's saying, like, I love you and like all this stuff to gas her up and
Yeah.
make her think it's real.
I get it. Joe in this situation very hurt. Schwartz should date her. I think they would be perfect. And he really screws her. And I think she honestly could do and deserves better.
Yeah.
Okay. Chrissy says she commented on different posts. Okay, so here's her. Sorry, Chrissy. I'll label them better. Okay, I agree with everyone who says This was what we needed to see of Ariana be vulnerable. Give her a hot minute to piece together her broken heart. You don't just go from in love, cheated on to out of love. She needs to find her way there without being thrust into it. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
The blonde floppy head was has made its appearance. Not horrible, but still a little silly. But how Schwartz treated Joe was not silly, nor was it very blonde of him. Joe is just the next Katie waiting forever for Schwartz just for him to let her down. Agreed.
Something
I
they said on
agree
the after show too is that Joe flew to Florida
to
and
meet his
only
parents.
Sandoval and Katie have done that. That tells me even more than the I
Yeah,
love you, how like in my mind serious this was.
agreed. So, Lauren from Utah has made another appearance, and while I still love her no bullshit attitude on most days, I do not love how hard she is writing for Sandoval. Just stop. Agree. It's exhausting. I am not happy that Katie cheated on me. I know, me neither. But I am happy about the look on her face when Tori asked if Bob Ross was alive from those video cameras. Girl, how do you think us 80s babies were able to learn how to turn our mistakes into happy little accidents or how to paint, draw, and color happy little trees? Get the fuck out of here.
I love
I understand. I love
I
Bob
stand Bob
Ross.
Ross. I have a Christmas sweater my guy cousins
I
bought
love
me because
Ross.
we love Guy Ross, Bob Ross.
Okay, Chrissy says, and at the paintball, I would be a mix of James and Sheena. No AC outside in the sun with snakes. Boo, no thanks, I'm outie.
He's cracking me
Therefore,
up.
I block Tori for her lack of Bob Ross knowledge. I accept James for his gray hair comment about Schwartz.
Love. All right, I'll
Love, I
stand those
support.
pics.
Okay. Tierney says, I have a lot of thoughts, but my brain cannot seem to comprehend them. I'm just trying to work them out with one of my friends and Meredith. Oh my God, were you working
Yeah,
things
we
out
were
with
DMing
Tierney?
about it, and I was like, I have a theory, and then I like called my cousin, and I was like, okay, I called my cousin, and he supported my theory. He really thinks my Lala theory is true, and if not, he said something else was happening, but I didn't believe it, and so I didn't even retain it. I guess.
It doesn't matter. So anyway, Tierney says, I had a lot of empathy for Joe with the Schwartz situation because who hasn't been led on by a true fuck boy, which let's face it, Schwartz is one. Agreed. Total fuck boy.
Mm-hmm.
This episode felt like a fever dream to me, and that includes the after show. I'm disappointed that we didn't get another unedited version on Peacock because I loved that one
I
from last week. Is that
know.
not what I watched? I don't know.
No. This Peacock was not unedited or extended this week, and I truly think last week's only was extended because we didn't talk about it on our podcast episode, but there was a clip of Sandoval, Schwartz, and Kyle Chen who went to dinner, and Sandoval just ripped on Ariana, and I think they added that in because they're starting to see that the audience does not agree with the edit.
Ooh, okay, I gotta start
So if they
watching.
have those moments where Sandoval
Sorry,
sucks, they're
that
adding
was
it
my
in.
bad for leaving it
No,
out.
no, no,
I
no. It's okay.
watched
I
it not
couldn't
before.
remember when it had happened, so I didn't chime in about it.
My bad. Okay, I'm accepting my Capricorn queen, Katie. What is Capricorn? What is you guys
I
twice
know
now?
nothing.
She's just being herself and it's working. I'm blocking Schwartz. While I'm not a fan of Joe, I don't like how he led her on. Agreed. Also, I'm not encouraging anyone to listen to Rachel's podcast, but instead read Vanderpod recap of it with Joe. Joe gets into her relationship with Schwartz and where she thought they were versus what was shown. That being said, she and Rachel are perpetual victims. Still a good
Yeah.
read. Yeah, I someone else did it for me. So yeah. And then
But a good resource to check out if you want more on that.
Lady Swamp Witch says Lala has her head up her ass. She's not allowed to treat Katie that way. You know what? Go off, Lady Swamp Witch. Do you? You're not wrong, in my opinion. Okay, so that was a lot. We were here very long. We're gonna do a quick. Meredith, you got anything to say before I give us our James quote?
I'm just happy we only have like 3 more regular episodes, and then I've heard there's 3 reunions. By the way, Lala said there's 3 reunions,
They did a
and
last minute one. Now that they know,
I want to pummel. We don't need 3 reunions. Bravo.
literally none. Okay. Well, with that, do all the things. Thank you so much for listening. Forget what you heard and remember where you heard it first.
Bye.